Memories of you, they're pulling me down. Echoes in my mind, can't leave them behind. Swamp donkey, monkey mouth, got me losing sleep. I'm haunted by your name. Caught up in this storm, my heart can't be tamed. Feeling trapped in time, reliving the pain. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Feeling heartache, we're breaking. Your love got me crying. Swamp donkey, monkey mouth. Feeling heartache, we're breaking. Your love got me crying. Swamp donkey, monkey mouth. Feeling heartache, we're breaking. Your love got me crying. Shadows fall, memories fade, but I can't let go. Your words are haunting, your lies cut so deep. Swamp donkey, monkey mouth. You play me like a fool, girl, now I'm all alone. Heart torn, soul on fire, love turned to stone. Swamp donkey, monkey mouth. Heart torn, soul on fire, love turned to stone.
All right. Just got the camera fixed. I don't know why it's acting up, but what's up? It's your boy Jack Bravo. This is The Righteous Edge. And I wanted to talk about something. Let's get right into it because it's very important whenever I recognize this. When I see that liberals get together, when I see leftists, when I see people that are satanic, let's just not play games. People who want the worst for America, people who hate conservatism, people who hate the Bible, people who hate everything that's good and righteous, people who hate the nuclear family, people who hate traditional marriage. When I see them all come together and they start trying to silence one specific person, then I start to pay attention to that person because they always use the same playbook. And by that, I mean, they always go personal. They always try to ruin somebody's life. They can never just defeat your argument. They cannot do it. They pretend as they come to the table with the same thing you come with: facts, evidence, logic. But nope. What they will end up trying to do, and the same thing they did to Charlie Kirk, is set you up so that they can destroy your life. If they can't destroy your life, then what is their next thing? To take you out. And why I always pay attention is it's one of those things is I can tell when somebody is a threat because they will go out of their way. They'll ruin their own lives to ruin you, if that makes any sense. If they could take a pew pew and blast it through their own head for the bullet to hit you, they would. Partially because their lives are meaningless, but the other reason is because they know how much a threat you are to their philosophy, to their worldview, to their theology, to their way of life. It's very, very sad that it's come to this in this environment where we live in a political environment where people feel like they can't just come to the table and debate. They have to try to destroy you. They have to make up lies. I'm sure it will happen to me one day if this channel does grow. I'm sure that it has happened to multiple people that I haven't even seen yet because these people are notorious. They can't stop. And I just been noticing something. And what I've noticed is the better you are at destroying their arguments, the more vile they become with their attacks. They did to Charlie Kirk. The reason why they took Charlie Kirk out, and I really do believe this is not me just saying this. I believe they took him out because they couldn't defeat him. They would come to arguments, to debates, and they would bring the best they had. They even had an Un-F America tour with their best liberal debaters. They could not stump this guy. They could not stump him. And this is also why, let me make this other point, because this is important to conservatism, and this is important to Christianity or anybody who's standing for the truth. You cannot silence people. People talk about silencing Nick Fuentes and he shouldn't give him a platform and we shouldn't let him talk because he's spewing his hatred and people are they're gonna somehow be drawn into that if we let him have a platform such as ours. That's nonsense. Nonsense. I don't agree with a lot of what Nick Fuentes says. But guess what? I wouldn't even have known who he was if these people didn't try to silence him, take his bank accounts away, tell him he couldn't speak here, if Ben Shapiro wasn't so scared of him. I don't even agree with it's a lot of things I hate that he says. For one, I believe like that race mixing is somehow ungodly, or I think that's insane. Do you know who Moses' wife was? Was Moses' wife the same race as him? No, she wasn't. Was Solomon's? Now you could say, oh, Solomon went down the wrong path. Well, let's talk about the book Songs of Solomon, the actual word of God. The spoken word of God, these are the word of God that he selected to give light to man. So there's a lot of things, all that to say before I get sidetracked as if I'm debating Nick Fuentes. There's plenty of things I disagree with a person like Nick Fuentes on, but I wouldn't have even caught light of him if they didn't try to silence him so much. They tried to do the same thing with Crowder. They tried to take him off YouTube. He had to go to Rumble. He had to go to his mug club, of which, man, I should grab my mug because I'm a part of Mug Club. I supported him. It's over there. It's all good, Mr. Producer. I'm a supporter of people like that. I'm a supporter of conservative content. And here's my thing. Y'all are really making me more of a supporter because y'all keep trying to silence people. It's not even that I agree with people so much. It's that when I see the vitriol, the violence, the hatred, the absolute lack of class that some people have when they come after somebody who disagrees with them, I'm like, no, I gotta support this dude. Even if I don't agree with him 100%, I'm like, I gotta support him now. Because I'm not just gonna let y'all just badmouth and talk about somebody and lie on them. You can badmouth, you can talk about somebody. Let me take that part back. You can talk about somebody, you could speak ill. I'm gonna speak ill of people today. You can say things that are true, but when you just straight up lie on somebody, when you misinterpret their arguments, when you come at them and you say they said this, and then you look at the totality of what they said and it wasn't anything close to that. When you do this thing that we're going to be seeing today, where you take the guy's argument that he's debating and make that his argument, when if you really correctly applied it, it would be the person he's debating's argument. When you do things like that, it really makes me like, okay, why do they feel like this guy is such a threat that they have to lie to this degree? So let's get right into this. First, who is this guy, Andrew Wilson, that keeps coming up? Who is he? And the thing about it is, it seems to me like he's almost just a regular guy. Now, y'all would say, no, dude is like, for those who are his fans, he's a great debater. Some would even say a master debater. I wouldn't say it like that, but some people would say that. he is a great debater. He understands the laws of logic. He understands what fallacies are. He understands the back and forth. I was on the debate team at one point. I understand these things, and a lot of people have forgotten what makes something true and how do you defend the truth? How do you prove that somebody else is saying something that is untrue? What is the law of non-contradiction? All these different things. The things like where do terms like red herring come from? Where do terms, I'm trying to think of all these terms on top of my head. I need to brush up on it myself. But there's a lot of debate terms where people use even terms that are getting popular, like bad faith. What does that even mean? You're saying that in bad faith. What does that even mean? All these are terms that you have to understand if you're going to be engaging people, especially on the internet where everybody think they know everything, in debate. And Andrew Wilson, excuse me, he's a really, really good debater. You can't take that away from him. Even if you hate the dude, you can't take that away from him, man. So he was known at one point as Big Papa Fascist. He said in previous streams that he did that he used that term as like a funny term. That wasn't him saying, "Oh, I'm the greatest fascist. I believe in fascism." People have tried to use that against him. It's just like me saying, my name back in high school was Big Pimp Daddy. Does that mean I really agree with being? If y'all gonna hold that against me, I think I might have used pimp in one of my emails at one point when I was a child. Watch somebody dig that up and say, "Jack, man, he think he a pimp, and he call himself a Christian. He called himself a Christian, and I saw that his email had the word pimp in it." That's how people are nowadays. Used to be known as Big Papa Fascist, a live streamer, self-proclaimed blood sports debater. I talked about that previously on one of my previous streams, that blood sports debating, for those who don't know a lot of internet history, there used to be a very popular section of YouTube that all they would do was go on live streams and debate, and nothing was off the table. They used to go really, really hard on each other, Pauls. They used to go really, really ruthless, and it was called blood sports debates. They would debate anything from politics to personal problems. In some segments, people used to just do drama content, and all they would do is just debate each other, but nothing was off the table. It was cursing, it was fighting, it was interrupting each other. And it got really, really popular for that reason. Every once in a while, it would just derive into people name calling and being stupid, and I didn't really like that. So I didn't get into that much content. But then every once in a while, they would have really good debaters on there debating really good topics. And it was cool because it was like an actual fist fight. It wasn't like, "Oh, we're going to set up rules and you can talk for 2 seconds and then I can talk for 2 seconds." And the reason why that's so beneficial is people nowadays want to see something real. They don't want this cleaned up, super formal, everybody wears a suit, you get to talk now, and then we get to cut and do all this fake things like Kamala Harris did during the Trump debates. You can only mention this, and you can't mention that, and we can only have this much time to talk, so I can just filibuster. And people don't like that. They know when they're being lied to, especially with all the realness we have on the internet today. So that's why people like that he's a blood sport debater. That's why he can survive on somebody like Piers Morgan's channels where people are constantly cutting people off, because he's used to that and it made him good at his craft. Now, some people won't like that. In fact, for a long time, I liked more formal debates, and now I'm more with how I've seen people have hid and lied and tried to like suppress the truth. And people like Kamala Harris don't even want to come to a platform that will let her talk for 2 hours straight because she'd rather hide behind somebody like CNN who she knows has her back. Now I'm way on the other side. I like the more truthful aspect of people having an open dialogue. That's why podcasts have become so big right now. With all that being said, here's some of the things that he's appeared on. He's appeared on the whatever podcast. People know him from that, so much so that people think he's a part of like the foundation of that podcast. He's not. Brian Atlas is the creator of that podcast. And I would have to say this, Brian Atlas kind of stole a lot of the whatever podcast from the Fresh and Fit podcast. Let's just be honest. They were the first ones to sit down with a bunch of women and ask them a bunch of dating topics and things like that. I don't think they got any beef because of that, but he has to admit that. Fresh and Fit was the first to do this when it comes down to sitting in a group of women and just asking them dating questions. So he kind of took that and took it to the West. They're in Miami. He was in California. He started doing that, and he made his slightly more political, I would say, where Fresh and Fit were more like, at first when they started, they were doing more things with like the hip hop community and like people that were like little famous on the internet, and even people that were doing things like fitness influencers and stuff like that. Whereas Brian Atlas strictly was like he's the one who had Charlie Kirk on, Candace Owens on. Fresh and Fit had Candace Owens on too, but he was the one who started bringing a lot of these political people into it. And I think, to be honest, if I'm giving the critique, Fresh and Fit was less family friendly than whatever podcast, because the whatever podcast took it and made it more mainstream. They took it, and he took a lot of he's very, very aware of saying things that are not allowed on YouTube, saying things that you cannot say or is not friendly for advertisements. I don't even think he has advertisements, but his podcast is more suitable for somebody like my mom to watch, even though it has a bunch of like 3 or 4s on there doing all types of crazy stuff. It's more suitable. The discussions they have are a little bit more organized, whereas Fresh and Fit, on the other hand, they have the discussions, but it's a lot about, in my opinion, gotcha moments and pretty much dunking on women, So I do think that Fresh and Fit is entertaining. Don't get me wrong now. Fresh and Fit has had throughout the years, has had some moments where people stole their platform straight up. The whatever podcast would not exist if it was not for Fresh and Fit. If I ever get big one day, I want to go on both. I ain't gonna lie. I would love to go on both of them mugs and show out too, because I think people are not used to a man speaking his mind. But I think they're both good, and they both have things that they could work on, but they also both have things that they do really, really well. He got a lot of credibility from coming on things like the whatever podcast with Brian Atlas. I wish he would do more, but Brian Atlas only wants to do things in person now. He made a lot of headway with his own platform, the Crucible. They're doing really, really well now. They've been growing tremendously. And he does a lot of his own streams there. He does a lot of his own interviews there. And I think they branded into another thing on Rumble called the Extravaganza, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't been following that closely, but I think Jake Rattlesnake is on there, and a guy named Rob Neer, I believe, who was like a political commentator as well. I think they all joined forces to make a giant group, of superstars, which is good. I heard they're doing really well with that. So that's part of where he came from and what he's doing now. Now, here's my personal take with him. Me and my brother had an X, what is it called? Where you have the people that can just talk. It's not Clubhouse, but it's something like that, where you're on X. Like a hangout or something? Yeah, it was like a hangout thing, and Andrew Wilson actually joined me and my brothers on one of them. This is like maybe a year ago. And he just came in and he just talked to us like regular people do. I was like, who is this guy dude, as soon as he joined, about 10,000 people joined. Straight up. And I don't have no followers. I'm like, who is this dude? So when he came in, I was like, that's kind of cool though. He just joined a regular thing. He was talking to us. The topic was, when is it all right to hit a woman? And is it ever all right? And he just came in and said his little piece. And dude was super respectful. He didn't have no issue. I'm telling you. We had a long discussion. It wasn't like he was there for 5 minutes either. He came in, he discussed with my brother. Me and my brother had a disagreement. My brother's he's even more traditional than I am. And so I would try to find it and pull it up, but it was so long ago that I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I could dig through all this stuff to find it. But just to say, I've had contact with him, but he's not a personal friend of mine. Nothing like that. Here's another way I've had contact with him, just to be transparent. I told you guys a couple streams ago that I do cartoons. I did a couple of political cartoons. Let me tell you this, and this is the honest to God truth. When I was pushing my political cartoons out, nobody was sharing them on X, and they were good. They were funny. How do I know? Because Andrew Wilson shared some. He shared some, and when he shared it, it spread like wildfire. Everybody's, where'd you get this from? This is so funny. Oh, who's this guy? Like, people, I got plenty of followers just off that. Some people he just shared it. He didn't know who I was. He was like, this is funny. So I'm not gonna lie and say I have a non-bias, because the dude has been cool from what I know of him on the internet. We're not friends. We didn't have no, like, I ain't never been to the dude's house. He ain't never been to my house. We ain't never had no one-on-one conversation or nothing like that. But I can honestly say him and his wife has shared some of my cartoons before too. And they also have a friend that does cartoons. Dang, I forgot his name. But he's like one of the orthodox dudes too. And he does cartoons. I don't know if his cartoons is better than mine, but he does cartoons, and he's decent too. Some of his stuff is really funny. So that's some of my background with Andrew Wilson and knowing where he's from. If you guys don't know, he's also been on Piers Morgan a lot. Now let me pull up this Piers Morgan video. Let's see. I think it's the first tab. If you go, yeah, click on that one. Here we go. Yeah. Now let me see if I can pull it up. For some reason, this is not the right one. Hold on. All right, here we go. You can play it whenever.
Kirk a fascist how many times? The Young Turks played into this rhetoric how much? They went out of their way to do so. Ruben recently called him out for doing it. So I just hang on. I literally never. I didn't interrupt you once. I didn't interrupt you once, lady.
But you can't make things up about what I've said about Charlie Kirk.
You can talk when I'm done talking, like I was respectful enough to let you do. So the thing is like, yes, they do. This network does do that. And these leftists do that. And they set all the rhetoric up in the world to make sure something like this happened. And they were dancing on the grave of this guy before he was even cold. I have tweets from Destiny which are insane. The leftists have gone off the reservation. And it's time for us to stop pretending that it's not their rhetoric which is leading to these types of assassinations, because it is. I don't want to hear about factions. All of you guys are doing this. All of you guys have the same type of rhetoric which leads to this, or the networks.
Let me speak real quick. Let me talk to y'all. Here's the thing. He's been on Piers Morgan several times having discussions like this about political matters. Here's why people love him. He bites back. Dude do not take no mess. And y'all know from the black community, we respect a dude like that. Now, maybe these softy suburban kids, maybe he's too mean. No, man, we like when somebody got some fight in them. When this is why people like Trump. Because Trump fought back. You called Trump ugly, he called you a fat pig. You'd say that Trump was lying, he would say your whole fake news. Trump fought back. That's the same reason they like him. People want to see conservatives fight back. So people always, man, I don't understand why he's so popular. Every time he goes on a platform like Piers Morgan, he absolutely fights back. And he ain't no pushover. And here's the thing. I'm going to say this, and some people going to take this the wrong way and be offended by this. He's not a Michael Knowles. He's not a Ben Shapiro. So Ben Shapiro will fight back, but Ben Shapiro fights back, and he tries to have some class with it, right? He'll try to insult you, but insult you to the exact degree that you insulted him. Michael Knowles does this thing where he doesn't insult anybody. He just smiles and hopes that you will look stupid for insulting a nice guy. And it usually works. I'm not going to lie. When people try to insult Michael Knowles, they just look like an a-hole because dude is a nice guy. This is not what Andrew Wilson does. He don't do that at all. If you say something crazy to him, he going to say something crazy to you. If you try to come after him, he coming after you. You tell him to shut up, he going to tell you to shut up. You cuss at him, he going to cuss at you. And I'm not going to lie. I know that people are saying that's not the Christian thing to do and dirty other. I like that, man. I like that. Because here's the thing, is too many sissy, weak Christians now that don't know how to stand for nothing. And that's why we're in a weak situation that we are, where these liberals think they can kill us, they think they can run over us, they think they can come to every time we do a presentation and yell us down, they think they can throw milkshakes at us, they think they can follow you home, they think they can slash your tires, they think they can just find your wife, find your kids, harass you at every chance they get, because we got too many weak people that are scared to fight back. If you have people that actually fight back, I'm telling you right now, these weak, sissy, blue-haired little boys, soy boys, will be scared to fight you. So what do? They try to character assassinate him. Because they know he's going to fight back. They know they can't stand against him. So look at what's going on. Let's play. We can play the rest of that one because this is like a good introduction.
Work for it, do.
Well, Anna, let me let you respond to that before I bring Cornell.
I've never called him. I have never called Charlie Kirk a fascist, number one. In fact, if anything, we have received a tremendous amount. I don't remember Trump. I don't remember Cenk calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. In fact, Cenk and I got into a debate about whether or not. Hold on. I don't remember Cenk calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. He called Trump a fascist, and he and I got into a debate about that. But to lump in everyone on the left together, I don't agree with Destiny on anything these days. Destiny is totally unhinged in his rhetoric, 100%. I have been critical of Charlie Kirk's political views, but going around referring to people as Nazis, turning the temperature up, I did not engage in that. So I just want you to at least be fair about what I've actually said about Charlie.
There's no actual reason for us to believe leftists at this point. It's very clear that while they come out with a handshake and wanting to have these conversations, they claim, right? In reality, what they're doing is they have murderous intent, and they'll celebrate you the day that you die. The next day, they'll go after your wife. Thousands of social media accounts going after her wife, or this guy's wife, after she made a speech about her poor husband. Yes, it is your side that's doing that. Like it or not, it's your side that's doing that. There's no equivalency between the right and the left on this.
Pause.
Yeah, okay, fine. You're not.
This is why people love him, because you need somebody like him in a time like this where these idiots will get up there and now they want to extend the olive branch after they kill one of your leaders. They'll kill somebody like Charlie Kirk, dance on his grave, destroy the monuments that are set up. People are out there trying to have candlelight vigils. They'll destroy that. And then they say, we need peace in front of everybody on Piers Morgan. He's calling that nonsense out because these people had no problem just a year or 2 years ago saying that he was evil, saying that he was Hitler, saying that he has evil Hitler-like rhetoric and he has racist rhetoric. Where do you think that leads to when you compare somebody to an evil dictator that should have been killed? There's all types of movies of people fantasizing, ooh, if I could have been the one to kill Hitler. And then they call you Hitler all day long. Where does that lead to? And then somebody like Andrew Wilson has the guts to call them out on it. So that's just a segment of what he has done, especially on shows like Piers Morgan. So just a little bit more about him before we go into what's going on right now. So his wife is also, I would say she's more of a book writer than a political analyst, but she's very, very intelligent online. I follow her on X. I follow them both on X. And she she attacks a lot of the feminist aspect. She wrote a book called Occult Feminism. I think it's very good. I have read it. it talks about basically, I don't want to steal all her thunder, but it talks about basically how feminism, especially in America, was funded by the CIA. A lot of people don't know that. And then it also talks about like the history of feminism, and it is links to the occult, and how even in Russia, Bolshevik. Basically, I don't want to give it all the way. But I will say this: it has so many occult ties, and so many of its origins are in occultism, that there's really no way to separate it. It's not this innocent thing. Oh, we just want to vote. It's not like that. There is a stronger demonic push behind it. And that's all I'll say, because I want people to go read her book. It's really good. You going to say something?
Yeah, we've got some comments coming in, Jack.
Go ahead.
So we've got one from Lucid's Emerald 232 says, "Hello, I'm new here. We've got a new subscriber."
Yes.
And then,
join us.
Yeah, and then Balanced Elemental 1 was talking about cartoons. Said Made by Jim Bob also does cartoons.
Yeah, that's his name.
Mm-hmm, yep,
Made by Jim Bob.
Yep. And then I also follows up with your last comment about Andrew Wilson, I think, and said that's why people like Conor McGregor back in the day.
Yep, exactly. Because he had this bravado where it was like, no, you hit me, I'm hitting you back, and I'm not going to be soft about hitting you back. I'm not going to say sorry for hitting you back when you started to fight. So many people I'm telling you, part of being a man, I teach my sons this. You do not feel sorry for holding somebody accountable. You don't feel sorry for bringing somebody to justice. Somebody hit your little brother and you got to give it to him. You don't stand there while they're on the ground after beating up your brother, turn around and say, I'm sorry for hurting you. No, I'm not sorry. You started it. If you don't want no problems, you shouldn't have came over here. You shouldn't have came over here messing with my little brother. I don't know. I had a father, so I was taught that. You don't play this game. And here's the thing, and I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but liberalism is all about, I can hit you, but you can't hit me back. I can say the evilest things to you, but you're a Christian. You're a Christian. You can't fight back. They be quick to know versus like turn the other cheek, but they don't know nothing about no Leviticus 18:22, do they? They don't know nothing about 1 Corinthians chapter 7, homosexuals not inherit the kingdom of God, do they? They don't know nothing about Romans 1, how God gave them up to the debased minds to their own homosexuality. They don't know nothing about those verses, but they be quick to know every verse about you should be nice. They know every verse about how you need to have your hands tied behind your back as a Christian. But nothing about what David did. Nothing about Solomon did. Nothing about the wars that Abraham fought. And yes, Abraham fought. Nothing about Nehemiah. They don't know nothing about any of that. All that stuff, yeah, let's just take and write that out. Christianity is only for the weak, the soft, the meek, the gentle. All the warriors that were there. The fact that Jesus said, sell your cloaks and buy a sword. And he was saying that in the present tense to the disciples about the future coming. He was saying, be prepared. But what do I know? I'm just a Christian who's been studying the Word of God for the last 30 years. What do I know? You know? That stuff gets me riled up. All that to say, this is who Andrew Wilson is. His wife wrote Occult Feminism. I think it's a very good book. They not paying me to say that. Like I said, I don't know them. I just think they do good work. There are some things, and I have to say this, there are some things that I do disagree with them on. I'm a Protestant. They are not. I would be considered, I know some people wouldn't like Jeff Durbin, but I'm more along those lines when it comes to, what is it called? Reformed Baptist, I would say, if you want to go into theology. But that doesn't mean that I don't agree with a lot of Catholics. That don't mean I don't agree with a lot of Lutherans. It don't mean I don't agree with a lot of Orthodox Christians. I think we can come together and have these discussions on theology. But there's some things I disagree with them on too. And one day I want to have those discussions. But I don't think those things separate us to the point where we're enemies. If those things make you enemies, I think you're focused on what Paul said is like when you get into church history and genealogies and all these different things. Do you believe in Jesus Christ, that Jesus Christ died to save your sins? Yes, we disagree with how much the church is involved in this and that in church. We disagree with a lot of those things. But one thing I know is I can see, if you look at somebody's life, is their life pointing to Christ or not? Can you look at their life and see it pointing towards Christ? Is their message Jesus Christ can save you or not? I'm not talking about the Mormons either. Those are fakers. I'm not talking about Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't believe Jesus is God. Go ahead, Mr. Producer.
We got some more comments here. Mandolph of Swall says, people often confuse meekness and gentleness as weakness.
Yep.
Genuine meekness means a lot more than expressed by a man of strength.
Absolutely.
And he also goes on to say, or this person goes on to say, used to be a Reformed Baptist myself, currently investigating Orthodoxy myself now.
I think a lot of people are turning to Orthodoxy because the church has failed them in a lot of ways when it comes to Reformed Baptists. And what I mean by that is, I hate to say this too, because a lot of it is, I don't want to get into too much theology. It's not the theology to me that's turning them. It's the fact of the church has let men down. The church has displayed so much weakness and let feminism indoctrinate them all the way to how they teach that men no longer feel welcome in the church. And that's sad because the church is where men's supposed to be. You're supposed to have a patriarchal church. You're supposed to have men leadership. That's where you're supposed to learn the ethics of being a man. But now the church has let people down, and it's no denying it. So let's just go into this before we get into a different. We could talk about that forever. We've done some talks about that in the past, haven't we, Mr. Producer?
Yeah, we have.
We've talked about that
many, many times.
So why do people hate him so much? Let's go to what's that for the next video up?
Next one is how he got started.
It's you're right.
Yeah, should we go to that one?
Play that one because I think it can give some more context here. We're not gonna play all of it, but
I got started with online debates during the COVID lockdowns.
Okay.
So I was basically work furloughed for I don't know, like 16 or 18 weeks.
Okay.
And I hate progressives more than essentially anything on planet Earth. I hate them more than mosquitoes. I hate them more than, I mean, there's just nothing on this planet which I loathe more than a progressive. So I was obviously upset a bit by the fact that they had shut down the entire economic sector in which I worked. And so I began doing, finding kind of ruthlessly online hunting progressives down to debate and kind of go after, and ended up doing some debates on a really tiny little Facebook group show. And then from there, those debates became so popular that that little tiny Facebook group decided to have a YouTube channel in which I was a primary peer in those debates. So I was fairly popular in the debate space already before I ever entered into any of the manosphere. But I had been debating with manosphere pickup artists, degenerates of all kind. As you know, there's two kind of divergences from the manosphere.
Yes.
The left fears them because of what they...
So one of the things you see is that during COVID, people had shut down everything. Liberals in their liberal policy shut down everything. And you see that he got really, really popular because he would go in these Facebook groups and debate. And remember, I was talking about bloodsport debating and how it actually was and how it started and how people would get together and they would do these things where they would debate pretty much anything. And one of the things that's great about debating, from me who used to be on a debate team, I was on a Christian debate team and we'd go debate atheists in our high school and stuff like that. One of the things about debating is it really puts you on a fast track to learning a lot really fast. And the reason why is because you don't want to look stupid. So you're like, dude, if I debated people on like theistic evolution and like all types of theological things, like I really became a pretty big expert in debating the history of Charles Taze Russell and the Watchtower Society, which with those who don't know, the Jehovah's Witnesses, their theology and what they so I got really good at debating Jehovah's Witnesses and learning their history and who Charles Taze Russell, their founder, was. And I'm telling you, the reason why I learned so much in such a short length of time is because Jehovah's Witnesses kept coming to my door. They kept wanting to debate me. And the thing is, they would come, and if you know anything about Jehovah's Witnesses tactics, they come to your door in twos, right? So they come, and if they cannot beat you, they will be back next week at a set time, because they look at this as now their personal journey, their personal battle, and they will not let up, and they will keep bringing higher and higher ups. So I used to pride myself with, like, okay, now I done got to their deacon. Okay, now I done got to the pastor. Oh, wow, they brought the whole Watchtower Society leader here. Now I know I'm getting to them. They marked my house now. And it was because when I was young, when I was about 15, 16, and they would come to my door, I was getting whooped. I didn't know enough. It wasn't so much that I was getting whooped badly, because my dad, who is a pastor and he was back then and he is now, he taught me a lot of theology. He taught me a lot of biblical principles and things like that. Now, in that, I'm telling you, I was still not holding my weight when it comes to punching back and forth with them and winning a theological argument, because I hadn't studied them specifically and known their tactics specifically. What does debating do? And how does this relate to Andrew Wilson? Is when I had to debate, when they said they're coming back on Saturday and they'll be here at 1 p.m., I knew I had to study. I was like, no, man, I ain't letting y'all get me on that one verse this time. Oh, wait a second. They did not know anything about Hebrews. Wait a second. They didn't know anything about that verse in Hebrews chapter. Oh, and so I started studying. And it caused me to learn so much about the Bible, some that I didn't intentionally want to learn. I learned about the nature of Jesus Christ and the deity of Jesus Christ and how the Trinity actually works. Because if you didn't know, the Jehovah's Witnesses do not believe in the deity of Jesus Christ. They believe that he is pretty much the first creation of God and he is akin to an angel. So they just like one of the highest angels, basically. So they had this theology and it made me so much more in depth. I've learned so much, and that nobody can take knowledge away from you. All that to say this, Andrew Wilson, one of the reasons he can go on a place like Piers Morgan, he can come and debate Destiny. He can have all these formal debates. He can have informal debates. He can come to somebody like me and my brother's platform on X. He's been debating so long that I'm sure he's taken some L's, and I'm sure he's grown over the last, 20 years. Me and him are approximately the same age. He's probably been debating for a long time. And in that case, because of those reasons, he learned a lot. The dude knows a lot, man. Like, I'll listen to him talk, and I'm like, this dude knows about economics, politics. I bet the dude probably know how to build a house if you ask him. Some of y'all gonna say I'm glazing. I'm not glazing. I'm just saying the dude is very knowledgeable. I don't like that term glazing. Don't ever use that here. He's very, very knowledgeable. So I'm like, yo, this dude knows a couple things. You got to give people their credit when they earn it. Excuse me. So the dude has learned from debating all this time, and now he's built it into a platform. What's our next video we got up there, Mr. Producer? Because I think it goes right into
next video goes into he calls out Destiny for outrageous tweets.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. So
okay.
let me explain something to y'all. The hatred that he gets is because of stuff like this. Okay, let me play. Yeah, let's play that video.
When you say that a firefighter who got murdered at a rally, when you laugh at that and you say that that's totally fine, are you spreading misinformation?
I don't know if I
you?
said that's totally fine. I think I said I don't really have any sympathy for
No, you didn't. You laughed about it. You thought it was funny. You didn't give a shit. You were under fire on Twitter for it for weeks until you finally backed away.
I haven't backed away from any of those statements.
Yeah.
You can go find the
You haven't backed away from any of them?
No, not at all.
You don't care that the guy died, right?
People died. Rally
yeah, you don't care.
When this side is involved in some of the most violent, divisive. Here's a question.
Care about misinfo?
Here's a question. That has nothing to do with misinfo. Here's a question.
I'll
Wait. Do you disavow any of the rhetoric about Paul Pelosi? Do you disavow any of the rhetoric about Paul Pelosi?
What? Even if I made any outrageous claim possible, it has nothing to do with your claim, which is what we're talking about. We're talking about your claim. Stop switching.
He doesn't, of course not.
Stop
he doesn't
switching
acknowledge
the
what happened on
goalposts.
January 6th. He doesn't acknowledge
And
that
you're
people are
filibustering.
turning away FEMA right now because they're convinced that the federal government's going to take their houses.
Stop spurging.
You are, you're just spurging. You can say stop spurging over and over again. I'm not here to talk about my tweets, but if that's what you really want to talk about, you do it. I tweeted crazier shit than that.
He called this dude out, man. I love that because let me tell you something. First, you won't understand how epic this is if you don't understand who Destiny is. Destiny is the best debater that the left has. Straight up. He's the best one they got. I've been watching, before I knew who Andrew Wilson was, I used to watch Destiny. And I used to watch him because I used to be like, dude, if I ever had to debate a dude like Destiny, what would I do? What would I say? How would I deal with that Spurgy's fast meth talk that he does? Would he be moving his lips like that? Nobody, dude, it's hard to deal with him. Destiny has this tactic where he slightly moves the goalpost every time he talks. So, and then he does a straw man attack too, where he'll make whatever your argument is flamboyantly crazier than what you originally said. So you're saying that you would never do this and have two guns blazing from a helicopter, and you'd be like, dude, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But that's what he does, man, and he's good at it. You can't deny, like I said, give people their credit. Destiny is good at it, man. Before you notice the sleight of hand he did to move the goalposts and straw man your argument, you're defending because he talks with the meth mouth. He talks so fast that another tactic that he does, and he does all these at the same time, mind you, he will present 10 arguments in one sentence. So by the time you defeat argument number 1, you're debating with number 2, and then you can't even get to number 3. And he's like, well, you never dealt with number 3. You're like, dude, you said 20 things. So he's good at that. That's a tactic he uses, and he's good at it, and he's defeated many conservatives with it. I've seen him kick some conservatives' butt because he's a decent debater. Not because he's right, because he's dead wrong. He's like retardedly wrong. But he's a good debater, straight up. You got to give him that credit. Now, here's the thing. Why they hate him. Who else has been able to hold Destiny accountable for his crazy antics and some of the crazy stuff he said? For those who don't know, when that guy got shot at the Trump assassination attempt, Destiny was one of the first to come out and says, anybody who goes to a Trump rally deserves to be killed. He came out and said that. This is before Charlie Kirk died. This is before all this stuff. Destiny, the biggest leftist debater they got, had no qualms saying that if you support Trump, you deserve to die, and I will laugh at you. That's almost his exact words. Somebody tell me I'm lying. He went on X, and that's what he said. And the dude was like a firefighter, I believe. Dude died because he went to a Trump rally and got shot. And Destiny said, yeah, I'm laughing at him. I would laugh at anybody who went to a Trump. And the only person to call him out face to face. Now, people called him out on the internet, but who had the balls to do it to his face other than Andrew Wilson? That's why they hated him. Not only that, but he did it where he wouldn't let him run away from what he said. Other people be like, oh, you don't want to admit that? Okay, fine, I got you. All right, well, you know what you said. No, he wanted to... When Andrew Wilson put him to his feet to the fire, he would not let him run away. He was like, no, you said this, and this is what people like you stand for. He wouldn't let him run away, and you could see the nervousness in Destiny as he's scrambling because he knows he can't lie and say he didn't say it, but he also looks like an a-hole for saying such an irresponsible comment. He knows he looks like an idiot. You can see it in his face. I read body language pretty clearly. This dude knows Andrew Wilson is whooping his butt. He knows it. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold, you guys. Thanks for your patience. But yeah, so he knows Andrew Wilson is kicking that butt. Let's play the rest. I don't think it's that much left, but
promise.
Are we going to acknowledge that you said totally fine? You didn't care. You just said right now you don't care.
Fine. You can look at all my.
How is it now? Let me explain how
what
it's.
does that do with
I'm
misinformation?
going to explain how it's misinformation.
Okay.
Because don't you think that if you make claims like Donald Trump is un-American, Donald Trump doesn't like the Constitution, and then you have an assassin come, he tries to kill Donald J. Trump at a rally, another American dies. Aren't you spreading misinformation by saying to people, this is okay? Isn't that un-American?
I don't think I've ever said this is okay. I've said over and over again that there shouldn't be any political violence in the United States. It's not good. You can laugh. You guys are the ones that
Donald
support
Trump
it.
said that on
You
January
guys deny
6th.
it.
He said it during January 6th.
After he sat and watched it happen for 3 hours.
After the guy died.
this is what I like is because the things that the liberals do, and this is what they continue doing, and they've been doing this for years. They demonize what the right has done, and they make a mountain out of a molehill. But then what they do is not that big of a deal. Yeah, we laughed at somebody dying because he went to a Trump rally. No big deal. That doesn't mean we uphold violence. But then in the same breath, if some people are let into the Capitol during January 6th, it's all of our fault, and we're all violent, and we're all murderers, and they should all be put to death. It's like these people, dude, the hypocrisy is insane. So this is why we need people like him, and this is why they hate him, because they're not used to being called out with this type of ferocity. Let's look at why do they hate him? So that was his ability to debate. Go to the next one.
This is the humanism and the I word there.
Yeah.
I'm being very cautious with that one.
No, it's good.
If the sister can't reproduce, want to hump, who are you to say they can't, Craig?
Could you defend that incest is good because the brother and the sister, they both consent, they continually consent? Is that something that you could defend with secular?
No, there's a potential for harm there.
What if they're sterile? Yeah.
Okay, studies show that incestuous relationships often end in depression and suicide.
Studies show that about all relationships.
So incestuous relationships, but a higher percentage, Andrew.
Then what? A higher percentage than what?
And higher percentage than non-incestuous relationship.
If you have a higher percentage of people who get married and they have all of those like problems, right? It's same types of problems, depression, this and that, wouldn't you have to say, well, then you shouldn't get married?
The question was about incestuous.
Yeah, but don't you understand the point here? The entailment is, if your only objection to it is, well, it could possibly cause you to become depressed, you would have to apply that to all interpersonal relationships, of which, if they break up, the person could become depressed.
But again, it's about looking at how much harm it does. Incest.
How do you quantify that? If a brother and sister, the sister can't reproduce, want to hump, who are you to say they can't, Craig?
Could you defend that incest is good because the brother and the sister, they both consent, they continually consent? Is that something that you could defend with secular?
No, there's a potential for harm there.
What if they're sterile? Yeah.
Okay.
Pause that. So this is another reason why people hate him. And this is like one of those things that once you see it, you can't unsee it. He is a Christian that's willing to take his arguments to the most perverse level to show secularists, how bad their worldview is. I wish I wrote that down so I can repeat it exactly. He is a Christian that's willing to show the depravity and degeneracy that secularist arguments and worldview leads to. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Other Christians will not bring up things like a brother and a sister humping each other. They won't bring up somebody humping a dead animal. because they're like, oh, that's gross. But that's precisely why it needs to be brought up. Because that's what secularist ideas lead to. And he shows that clearly because he will say, okay, well, if you don't believe, well, first of all, you got to understand a little bit about secularism. Secularism, and most of them, I think it's the most popular ideology the secularists have, is to adopt the harm principle, which is a very stupid ideology because it still is opinion-based. Most secularists believe that harm, they're trying to stop harm. Anything that prolongs or stops harm is best for society. Have you ever lifted weights? Oh, okay. Well, most of them haven't. If you could look at their arms, most of them haven't. Here's the thing. Harm is subjective. Harm is subjective, meaning that it's based on your opinion. Something that you may think is harmful, I may think is not harmful. And you point these things out to them and their brain just explodes. Because there's plenty of situations, what he points out, and this is what Andrew Wilson does that I never considered before I saw him do a lot of these things. He will show you that there's things that secularists do not consider harmful, but they know in their heart is still wrong. For instance, picking up roadkill, taking it home, and humping it. That everybody would say is gross. That everybody with a right mind would say that should be illegal. Digging up your dead grandma and humping her. Everybody with a right mind would say that's illegal. Should be illegal. Nobody in their right mind would say, yeah, you should be able to do that. But according to secularism, if it doesn't harm anybody, you should be able to do it. And that's why their worldview leads to so much degeneracy. Like kids being able to cut off their little wangs. And people being able to do all types of crazy stuff. Like, I just saw in the UK, they had their first throuple marriage or some gay nonsense like that. They did that type of gay nonsense that's going on. That's because of secularism. And here's the other argument that he tends to make that he makes very well. Homosexuality, scientifically, is dangerous to everybody who participates. Even disease-wise and everything else-wise, like socially, if you want to talk about what's harmful, you would have to admit. Have you heard of monkeypox? Me and my wife didn't spread it. You, whoever out there who doing these zesty dances in the middle of the street during the month of June, you. Monkeypox is y'all thing. That ain't our thing. And what I'm saying by that is you have to admit the harm principle is stupid and he really destroys their principles from the inside out. And so what do liberals do? They act like they don't understand his arguments. Are you arguing for incest? You must like incest. You're arguing for it. Did you not understand what these people, they want to be stupid. These people who read so many books and got so many degrees. You like, dude, are y'all this dumb on purpose? And a lot of times, honest to God, they are dumb on purpose because they just don't want to get what he's saying. This is why they hate him, because he's destroying their worldviews. So look at this. Here's another thing, and this is one of my favorite points. And we talked about this before. One of the last points of why they hate. You got something, Mr. Producer?
No, I was just, there was a couple comments here.
Yeah, go ahead.
One was talking about, he did say he can build a house. He also knows history, not just American history too. I think that was referring to an earlier point. But yeah, there's also, that was just a comment about my microphone. Yeah, I've been having some audio issues here, but I think I've got that figured out now.
Cool,
so
cool.
So we're good with that. But yeah, it was talking about, he did say that he can build a house, also knows history, not just American history as well too. But yeah, it's getting back to this. It was like he's just totally just destroying them from the inside out.
Yes,
and just showing how illogical their arguments are.
And he's a Christian that's willing to go to these
Right.
degenerate
He's going to
levels
go there.
to show you that
he's
going to
go
Christians aren't. Most Christians will never bring up they make their main argument while debating Islam the fact that, because he did this too. The most Christians will not debate Islam and say, talk about the penis size of Muhammad and how how he essayed a little 9-year-old girl, Aisha, who, if you study the Quran, yes, and the Hadith, that yes, he married a 6-year-old girl and consecrated the marriage when she turned 9. You know, and he brought that argument up. He was like, yo, if he consecrated the marriage to a 9-year-old girl, this is what it means. This is what it means for a grown 40-something-year-old man to have sex with a child. And he showed what it meant. And people don't want to deal with that. And but here's a problem. They should have to deal with that. They should have to deal with that. They have no problem trying to point out flaws in the Bible. No problem. Talking about, oh, Balaam, have you read the story of Balaam and you believe that? Yes, I believe it. They have no problem trying to point out every flaws and everything Christians have ever done throughout history. So it's now you got somebody like Andrew Wilson who will take it there with them, and they don't appreciate that. And more Christians need to take this playbook. So let's go to the next video, because this is the main reason. It'd be one thing if he's just showing them that they're wrong. Actually, we'll skip that one for now. This one. This is the main reason why they hate him.
Here we go.
When you make fun of me, you look at me in my eyes. I said, what is the C word? That is an important thing to talk about.
Do you think that if that black person is called the N-word and that Southerner is called the C word?
What's the C word?
Don't say it.
Yeah, I can't say it.
Oh, how could you ever say
but
that, which one is worse, the N-word or...
Okay, I gotta kick you off the show. This conversation is over. Get up and leave.
You're a little man, Brian. You're a tiny little man.
You sound like you're deaf and you're thinking, like, get out of here.
You gonna physically assault me?
No, how about when you make fun of me, you look at me in my eyes.
Oh, man, look at my eyes. I'm thinking you're right. Yeah, I'll walk away.
Yeah, let's...
Go that way. Go ahead.
You disgust me. All of your followers disgust me. You guys are disgusting, misogynistic, tiny little men. I hope you understand that. Thank you. When you make fun of me, you look at me in my eyes.
Oh, man, look at my eyes. I'm thinking you're right.
So pause that for me. Mr. Producer,
Wait a minute.
What in the world is going on here?
Wait a minute. She calls him disgusting, but she used the words.
She
was being disgusting. She was being disgusting.
That girl, I watched that whole show. That girl was super annoying, dude. Honestly, I think Brian Atlas got too much patience with some of these hoes. I ain't gonna lie. Here's the thing. Man. She said a word that he said, you can't say that on our show. And she purposely said it anyway. And then he told her to get off the show. Now, she had been going back and forth with Andrew Wilson the whole show. And she was really mad because he said she wanted to get in his face and call him stupid. And I swear, when I first saw this dude, I nearly fell out my chair, man. I was like, this dude, when she started talking and then he went,
yeah. I mean, and she was ready to walk out, and all of a sudden,
no, but you see, she got mad now.
Right? Right.
Her pride is hurt. Her pride got hurt because he made fun of her too good. And you know how women is when you can't say nothing too funny. Now their pride is hurt, so now they gotta like get physical and get all in your face.
He touched a nerve.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is the overall point. He actually fights back. And they hate that. They cannot stand. They would be totally fine if somebody like Michael Knowles came, sat there, and got a drink threw in his face. And got punched and slapped. And then, you talk about, his family and his kids and, you know, tell him his cigars are trash, and then leave, and then everybody say, ha, ha. All the liberals will gather in their little groups and say, ha, ha, you really got him. He couldn't even say anything back. Ha, ha, silly little Christian. That's exactly how they would treat you. But they're mad. The reason why they hate Andrew Wilson is because he says something back. And it was funny, dude. That was funny. She sound like a deaf person. She do. If you're gonna come at somebody, be aware. You don't. My dad always told me, don't hit somebody without being prepared to hit back. What type of nonsense is that? You say something crazy, expect somebody to say something crazy back.
Right.
How is that a new concept? Only the liberals.
Yeah.
Liberals, there's videos right now of liberals, Antifa, hitting people, and then when somebody hit them back, they try to get the police. These stupid leftists don't understand the concept of if you strike somebody, be prepared to get hit back. If you verbally assault somebody, I hate that when people phrase it. If you verbally say something to anger somebody, be prepared that somebody's going to say something to anger you. How is this new? Oh, Lord. So, that's the main reason they hate him. Is when he says something, when people say something, he actually punches back. So let's go on to what have they tried? Since we know all these things that the liberals can't stand, they hate Trump for the same things. Trump, when he punches back, they couldn't stand it. When Trump first came on the scene, do y'all remember the outrage that CNN, MSNBC, these people had? They were like, unpresidential. I can't believe he would call somebody a fat pig. I can't believe he called that woman ugly. He called us fake news. The audacity. This is insane. They could not stand it. They cannot stand when a conservative or a Christian or anybody standing up for what's right actually fights back. They will drive them insane. Because they know they can't beat you in a fair fight. That you have to sit back and let yourself get punched. So, what have they tried? And we'll start with the most crazy thing first. What's the next video up? Let's see.
I've got some comments that I've seen in front of me here.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I got it here. Yeah, it's talking about attacking. It says Venti attacks me and my wife through death threats of a 10-year-old sick woman. That one.
You talking about?
Yeah.
Because I think that did you scroll down or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just play that.
Yeah, that's just a video full of comments.
I'm not gonna play all of this, and I'll tell you why too. Because I don't
Okay.
think anybody should relive some of this stuff.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and play some of this stuff then.
You think that shit's real because you want to believe it's real, and there's nothing I can do about that. I can't do anything about you wanting to believe it's real. Now, moving over to my son, right? This is not the first time that people have used the death of my son to go after me with it in order to hurt me, right? Say horrible things like this. I have a thick skin. But in this case, Venti brought him up to show that Rachel was somehow negligent.
The story gets more interesting when she marries her first husband, baby daddy number 2, who she has a child with that ends up passing away in a very tragic accident that in turn makes Sloppy look like an extremely irresponsible parent.
Here's what actually happened. And because this case was so fully public, you can look into all of these details yourself. What actually happened was as follows. My son went over to a neighbor's house. We lived out in the countryside. He lived down a dirt road.
Pause this real quick because I got to.
My son went over there to watch him.
All right, so you kind of get the gist here. There's a person named Brittany Venti, and she came after Andrew Wilson in the most disgusting way possible. I'm all for somebody saying a personal insult. Somebody say you look ugly, you say they look ugly. I'm even for somebody saying you're stupid and your arguments are dumb and you should have never came to this debate and this and that, and you saying something like that back. Where you have to draw the line, and where I always have drawn the line, maybe because of how I was raised, is You don't bring people's family into no mess. This is one of the first things they're doing. We have crossed into why they don't like him to what they're trying to do to take him down. And one of the first things that I saw, because I've been following this for a while, that I saw that they were doing, and I was like, this is just crossing the line. They brought up the man. The man has had in his family a death. I don't even like talking specifics about son, daughter, and stuff like that, because I think people's family is off limits. But he had to put this out here because people were attacking him on it. He had a young son that died in a car accident. And these idiots went and found that out and blamed his wife. She wasn't even there. How evil can you be, man? How much? So somebody makes an argument and says things you don't like on the internet. And you go find out they have a family member who died. And you find out that they died from no fault of anybody but the situation. And you blame the mother? That's evil, man. That's beyond. I can't think of another evil thing you could. This is how evil it is. Now, people love criticizing the black community, straight up, and most of it is well deserved. We talk about that on the channel all the time. One thing that I have seen where I don't feel sorry for people, and especially growing up in the hood myself, you would diss somebody's dead relatives, and people have died for that. Now, y'all can say, oh, that's ignorant and this and that. In my first lesson, in my dad's first lesson, and my mom's first lesson, stop playing like that. You don't play. And the reason why I bring that up is it shows the severity of playing with people like that. You can say what you want about me, but the moment you cross the line and say something about my wife and you say something about my kids, just don't be prepared for me to be the best Christian that I can be. I'm going to put it that way. I'm not saying that the Holy Spirit won't control me and it won't take control of my actions. I'm not even saying it. Hopefully, hope for your sake, I hope that God would take control of me and not let me do what my flesh would desire to do. If my son had passed away and you said something crazy, I'm telling you right now, God is working on me to make me a good man, but I'm not that good of a man. I'm just being for real. For over something I said on the internet? Over me debating my worldview versus yours? You would dig in my past and find out my dead family members, bring them up, and blame my wife? I can't fathom, like, this is why I had to go over this, because I'm like, dude, the lengths people will go to try to drag somebody down because their worldview is being defeated in the realm of ideas, in the marketplace of ideas where you can have open debates online. For you to feel that threatened, right? That you have to dig into somebody's past and go that far really shows that you're losing the debate. Now, people say Brittany Venti is alt-right. I think she's an idiot. Straight up idiot. I think she's one of those people that will do and say the wildest, craziest thing just for attention. And I don't like making people like that famous. For instance, we got a couple people like that now, like the girl who just is famous just because she says the N-word. Okay, and now what? And what else you got? It's like, okay, I don't have no problem with you even saying the N-word. I believe in freedom of speech. I really don't care. But the thing is that all you got? Just saying something lewd, just saying something to rage bait people, and that's it? That's how Brittany Venti is. I'm going to rage bait people. I'm going to say the most hurtful thing possible. I think Nick Fuentes does a little bit of this too. I got to say that too. They just try to say something just to get people riled up, and then you're supposed to do your due diligence and ask for more context. Well, at a certain point, man, when you just try to attack people with the most disgusting thing possible, society should come together and say, you're just a disgusting person, dude. You just don't do stuff like that. I'll put it this way. Even as much as I don't like Destiny, and people call him blue-haired gremlin and degenerate, and how he's dude's like a bisexual cuck. Everything I hate in life, he encompasses that. If his mother was to die, or girlfriend, or son, or something like that, I would never think to bring that up. I would never be like, ha ha ha. I can't do it. Maybe it's the Holy Spirit, and maybe it's God that wouldn't allow me to do it. But the fact that people can stoop to that low, it shows how much their ideology needs to be defeated, and it shows how much they hate him because he's doing something right. Because why would you combat evil with more evil? You get what I'm saying? They're combating good, and they're saying we have to defeat him by any means necessary. That's kind of crazy to me that you would stoop to that level, man. You know what? I don't even want to talk too much about his personal life, because that to me is the line they crossed.
We've got a comment on that too, Jack. They have no morality. Nothing is sacred to them. And the follow-up comment is this: all the left do it, especially when they run out of things to say.
Yes. It's disgusting to me that people would even have that on the table. Like, to me, you know, there's a rule between even men, right? If me and Miss Producer was standing up and we was having a heated conversation, I can't go to him in the midst of a heated conversation and call him a bitch and expect not to be punched. That's like a man rule. I don't call you it's certain rules
Yep.
that you have that you don't cross. The left has no rules. It's like, oh, you got a dead child? I'm gonna bring that up. Who does that, dude? Do you know you could never do that to a man's face? I don't care what type of man he is. He could be the most classiest dude. You bring up somebody's child who has passed away, that they're mourning. You do it in that way, you should expect to get punched, and nobody will feel sorry for you. Who would defend that? Oh, you shouldn't have punched him, though. He has freedom of speech. Yeah, but here's the thing, though. You got to have a line you just can't cross, because that's basically, to me, saying that to somebody, they wouldn't dare do it in your face. Because to me, when you cross a certain line, you're saying, punch me, please. Please punch me. That's what you're saying to me. Any man that doesn't feel that way, I can't relate to. You don't get to talk about people's dead family members. You got people in the streets. It's so serious that people got whole songs where they have died because they spoke about somebody's dead family members. Because it's such a sensitive topic, you don't do that, man. So anyways, to the next video, the fact that she did that, you guys go watch his full video on that too. Because it's super sad, man, that he has to feel like that he has to address that. No matter what, because he's said things that you don't like on the internet. What's the next one we got?
It's the Brittany Venti Wikitubia.
Yeah. So
okay.
That's...
Okay.
You could read some of that about her. Who is this person who felt the need to do this?
Yeah. So I'm going to put this up here on the screen so everybody can kind of see this. So it's got her little wiki entry here.
If you scroll down, it'll give you some context to who this person is.
Here we go. Let's just get rid of this here. Yeah. So it says, Brittany originally came to fame in 2015 as a user of Twitch TV named Lollipop Ninja. She would stream several games such as Grand Theft Auto and League of Legends. On her stream, she would purposely pronounce words wrong and create her own vocabulary, such as saying League of Leggings instead of League of Legends. She bolstered her way to fame when she claimed she was being raped by another player. Venti's stream was rated on a consistent basis, and later she was kicked off the platform for violating the terms of service. She then became a full-time YouTube streamer who makes commentary on day-to-day drama and political issues. She's also known for criticizing public figures such as Kevin Samuels, Shiwan Head, and Anissa Joma, iDubbbz's girlfriend. In December 2021, Venti interviewed Mr. Dick and Balls. Just saying that's like, wow. I got to read these things.
I got you to say it.
You got me. Mr. Dick and Balls, the super chatter who sent the super chat that caused a controversy between Sydney Watson and Jack Murphy, his real name is John Goldman, on the Blaze TV podcast show, You Are Here. She made a cameo in Internet Historian's video of, HWNDU. I'm not
You don't have to read it.
you know, and even talked to him on Valentine's Day. So her Twitter got suspended on Christmas Day of 2020, but it was reinstated months later after Keemstar intervened. She briefly appeared in Louis Theroux's documentary about the Groyper movement and has interviewed Nick Fuentes in 2019. According to Nick, Britney asked him to kiss her, but he refused, stating that he does not date non-white women and mocked her for being pagan, which resulted in a massive fallout between the pair. Britney then accused him of being gay on multiple podcasts.
Huh. If you don't like her, you're gay. So here's that's just some of the drama she's been involved in. So she's one of these people that goes around, puts herself in drama. She's with this group. She's with like that Triologic Lauren Southern group. And they go around and get themselves involved in a bunch of dumb stuff, and they gossip about people behind their back. And they try to do little operatives where they get people in trouble. So, and she's built her whole platform on that. I remember she was in a scandal a bunch of years ago where somebody filmed her in her super dirty apartment. Now I'm talking about it was like crackhead dirty, trap house dirty, where it was all types of stuff all over the floor. And I was like, this nasty little girl living like this, all up on her computer, and she living in this super nasty apartment. So anyways, I think her parents died when she was young, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that's why she's such, you know, that's sad if that did happen. I think from what I read, they died when she was 16. Maybe she's looking for guidance or something like that. Psychoanalyzer.
It shows here that her parents both passed away before she turned 16.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah,
that's sad.
Yeah.
And like I said, just because I don't like this person don't mean I will ever say something evil about her parents. Maybe that's why she is looking for guidance. Who knows? But for what to bring up the stuff with Andrew Wilson in that manner, it's just it's a disgusting thing to do. And she caught a lot of flack for that, and it was well deserved. But the reason why we're even covering that is because it shows the lengths people are going to try to take him down. Let's go towards the next video. So this video, let me give a little context for us. It's coming up. And this is a video where Andrew was in a debate with this guy named Oliver. And this guy named Oliver is on a whatever podcast, which it was a massacre of a debate. Andrew Wilson wiped the floor with him. If y'all don't believe me, just go watch it. It was a massacre. Straight up, this dude, it was like watching Mike Tyson versus Michael Jackson in a fist fight. Michael Jackson in the state he is in now. So here's the problem. It was clipped up because Oliver is very well known for taking segments of a debate and taking it out of context and using it to try to make his opponent sound like they're saying something they never said. Now, here's the thing. This went super viral. It went viral because he clipped up the segment I'm about to show you next. And what they did was he clipped it up to make it seem like the argument Andrew Wilson was making was that women like to be essayed. So let's watch this next segment and see what happened here.
Is you should wait until sex to have marriage, or wait until marriage to have sex,
and the outcomes are better.
The outcomes can be better for certain people.
Well, no, for most everybody, the outcomes are better. At least from the reported data. When you say like certain people, it's like, okay, dude, yeah, I guess you could make the case that like grape is bad for certain people.
No.
For certain people.
No, it's bad for everyone.
No, it's only bad for certain people. Here, like there's women, you agree, who have orgasmed during essay.
That has nothing to do with whether it's essay.
Bro.
That has nothing to do with whether it's essay. Are you kidding me?
Bro, I didn't say whether or not it's essay. I said during essay.
Yeah, what does it have to do with anything?
Well, bro, if that's the case, right, then was it bad for them?
Yes.
Why?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because there are overriding harms than just orgasm. I'm not saying that's not the case. What?
Perfect. So then here's the case then. The case is like when you say for some people, right? The reason you keep saying that is because even though it's the vast overwhelming majority of people, you want to like create this little minutia outlier, right? Is it logically possible that there's ever been a woman who's been essayed who'd enjoyed it?
I'm not going to.
Can you answer my question? Is it logically possible?
Logically possible? Sure.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, but that's not. I'm not ascribing anything to that.
Do you think there's ever been a single woman who's been essayed and has enjoyed it?
I'm not going to answer the question.
Answer the question.
I'm not going to answer the question.
But because then I can't say some people.
I'm not going to answer whether women enjoy being great.
That's not what I asked you.
Whether a woman has enjoyed being great.
If there's ever been one, do you think there's ever been one?
I'm not. No, I'm not answering.
You don't think there has been?
I don't know, and I'm not going to answer.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to. This is such a weird thing. What do you? This is such a weird thing.
What's wrong with answering the question?
Because I'm not going to say. I'm not going to contribute to rhetoric that tries to say that there is anything good about SA.
Who said there's anything good about it?
You just said that some women orgasm, therefore that is a good of it.
No. I was running an internal critique and saying if it is the case of X, then Y. Mm-hmm. That's not me advocating for that position. Don't lie. That's one. And two, when we move into this, right, here's what I'm saying to you. And I'll ask this question again. Do you think that there's been at least one woman who's ever existed that was essayed and liked it?
I don't know.
You don't think? What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not going to answer that question, Andrew.
Because then I could say.
Because I'm not.
Because then I could say, well, why make the prescription shouldn't essay?
No.
Because some people don't like it.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same shit, dude.
Andrew.
Andrew,
do you think? Wait, hold on. Wait a second here. Do you think the harm of SA of grape is equivalent to the harm of those who have more promiscuous lifestyles?
No.
No? Okay, so there is a differential in harm.
What does that have to do with anything?
Then
I can still say for that.
You know what, Paul?
What did I say?
Because I think people get the gist here. Let me ask you, Mr. Producer. Sorry, I'm going to put you on the spot real quick. Was Andrew Wilson there being an advocate for essaying a woman?
Of course not, no.
What do you mean, of course not? Of course he was. Of course, he's going out and he's saying that women deserve to be essayed in the street because they like it. Isn't that what he's saying?
That's not what I heard.
I don't know. This is what they did. So they took that segment and they clipped it up and they only put the part where Andrew Wilson says, "Don't you think some women like it?" And then he says, "No, I'm not. I wouldn't say that." And then Andrew Wilson says, No, you have to admit. And they clipped that part up. And they made it look like he was an advocate for a woman being essayed. How disingenuous is that? That is
very disingenuous.
It's bad because the actual argument was to prove that this guy Oliver was using the not all argument. Those who know the not argument. I'll talk about this on this channel too.
Right.
When you say, "Hey man, do birds fly?" Not all. Not all. So therefore, I'm right, you're wrong. Not all birds fly. Penguins don't fly. Ostriches don't fly. That's not the point. Liberals always want to take the exception and make it the rule. And that's not how generalities work. If life worked like that, we would have just as much 4-fingered gloves as we have 5-fingered gloves. The reason why we don't is because the exceptions don't make the rule. We make rules for the people with 5 fingers on each hand. We don't say, "Hey man, we got to make everything fair." And that's the whole point that Andrew Wilson was getting at. You can't just say just because it doesn't apply to some that we can't generalize and act as if the rules don't apply to all. And he took that part. And this is what I hate about liberals, man. He knew what Andrew Wilson was saying. That's why he wouldn't answer the question.
Yeah,
he knew answering the question would make him look bad. That's why. So his logic, the wheels turning in his brain shows he understood what Andrew Wilson was trying to say, but the disingenuousness of it is that he left that conversation, went home, edited it up to make Andrew Wilson say something he absolutely knew he wasn't saying. And the reason why this makes me so upset is because people have done that to me. People have done it where you like, dude, okay, man, let's come to an understanding. This is what I think. This is what you think. And then you go and you hear that from somebody else. Hey, Jack, you said that you was gonna do this. And you be like, dude, I never said that. He knows I didn't say that. I hate when people do that, man. Oh, it be burning me up because you know what I meant. You know what I was saying. I made it perfectly clear, and you took it the way you wanted to take it to make me out to be a bad guy. And let me tell you another secret. That's a very feminine thing to do. It's a very feminine thing to do because what it's saying is, even though the logic of what you're saying is right, I'm going to appeal to the emotions of everybody around me. The people too stupid to understand the logic, I'm going to appeal to their emotions.
Some comments on that too, Jack.
Go ahead.
So one is, I watched this debate. This kid was not mature enough to even try to match Andrew in it.
He tried to act like he was smart, but it's like this fake intellectual liberalism that they have where they got this pompous attitude of, I can't even speak to that because it's so beneath me. That was pretty much his argument the whole time. I'm not going to speak to that. It's beneath me. I wouldn't even dare dream of speaking to these people. And he couldn't engage with the argument.
We have another comment about all this. Heck, if we made exceptions, talking about that, if we made exceptions, the rule, medication wouldn't be able to be a thing.
That's true too. That's absolutely true. You can't live life like that. In fact, no one lives life like that, and nobody can live like that.
Right.
Imagine if you wrote every book for even those who had dyslexia. Imagine if you made every movie for, the blind, those who couldn't hear, and everything else. Everybody, people who couldn't understand colors. Everything is not for everyone. And only a liberal would try to do this inclusivity, diversity crap where you have to include everybody in the most dumb, most autistic, retarded section of humanity. We got to make all the rules for them. It's so stupid. Even the way that we cater to the trans and the gay movement now, they don't even make up a 0.1. Trans people don't even make up 1% of the population, and we over here acting like we got to conform all the society to them. To be honest, statistically, they don't even matter. The only reason why they matter is because they want to push an agenda on you. And why do they want to push that agenda on you? Because they knows the trans movement, the gay movement, people being lesbian, all this gender ambiguity stuff destroys masculinity, and it's easy to control the society once masculinity has been destroyed. That's it. I just cut the whole chase for you. That's why. They don't give two craps about putting all these gay flags out in front of their business. It's just signaling to other people, I'm down. Spend your money here. The moment that they ain't got no more money, or people that they found out that once you put a gay flag in front of your building, your businesses, your profits would tank by 50%, you wouldn't see no more gay flags. Don't believe the lies. So, anyways, we have continue with the rest.
We got another comment. Y'all should start suing these people, like Trump is suing ABC, BBC,
Absolutely.
CNN, etc. That's what they'll respond to.
I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna talk about the Raging Tomato situation. He absolutely should sue for that. Absolutely, he should sue. And we should sue people who want to look. These people will sue you at the drop of a hat. These people will destroy your life. They will come after your business. They had no problem with you when during the cough situation, if you didn't wear a diaper on your face, they would ruin your whole business. So I say you fight fire with fire sometimes. Sometimes you got to punch back so that people know you can't be punched like that. That's all I'm saying. You do got to take it there sometimes. Go ahead. You can play the rest of that.
Okay.
Saying that you should do this.
Wait, what's the prescription?
The prescription is you should wait until sex to have marriage, or wait until marriage to have sex.
And the outcomes are better.
The outcomes can
I think
be better
this
for
video is
certain people.
for most everybody.
I thought I had some more to go. Yeah, let's go to the next video. Because it's all about how they're trying to slander him. And for those who don't remember, this is what they did too. So just give some context in the next video. during a debate with that ugly black chick that looked like an alien, you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. The one with all these like piercings and look like, I don't know. I don't even know what she looked like. I'm trying to think of some animal she looked like. She looked like she scared animals away. She looks crazy. But anyways, he had this debate with that super popular leftist girl with the weird dreads. And she was like, it was a good debate too, but he ripped her up too. But she's kind of one of those people that's so dumb she doesn't know she got defeated and came back to be defeated again. So during that debate, I think this was a mistake on Brian Atlas's part. I gotta admit, because these type of things throw off the debate and things can always go wrong. So he tried to do something smart where he was like, oh, you know, if women are just as strong as men, then you guys, here's an olive jar. I don't think it was a pickle jar. I think it was an olive jar, I think.
An olive jar, yeah.
Yeah. So he gave them both an olive jar, and I don't know what was up, but neither of them could open it. Neither of them. It wasn't like she opened it, because you could see the dunk if she could open it and he couldn't. And people were all over the internet saying, oh, woman, you thought a woman was as strong as she was. That's not what that's not what happened. Neither of them could open it. But I think Brian Atlas, he was trying to, I don't like those type of antics, because they can always backfire. You could be, it'd be like somebody being like, oh, if you think you're stronger than a man, then let's do 20 push-ups. And then the girl comes and she's like, been training for this her whole life, and you just did bench press day earlier that day. Now you're going to be sitting there, you just did bench press max, and you did 225 15 times. Now you do that, and you're going to be like, yo, man, this ain't fair. So these type of things can backfire is what I'm saying. And I just think it's like, it doesn't prove anything whether you win or you lose. But the internet took this next clip, and they made it go super viral, dude. They took this and they kept calling it the pickle jar incident. Oh, he couldn't open a pickle jar. And they tried to ruin this man's career. Right now, if you go to his X page right now, every argument you have is some drawing of some man trying to open a pickle jar. Now, it's kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie. There is, and even he has a sense of humor about it. Like, he'll laugh at himself. But the fact that he can't open a pickle jar, people will literally, this is how dumb liberals are. He'll make a great argument on his X page, and they'll say, argument ignored, you can't open a pickle jar. For real? Like, that's how important this is for y'all? But anyways, it all came from this next clip.
Those are harder than the pickle jars.
They're not hard to open, but I can't grip the fucking thing.
Watch this shit.
So you can't blame me for my greasy fingers now. Like, God.
It's still greasy. The top of it's like...
You tried it with like 40
Feel it yourself. Tell me I'm wrong.
You know what?
Is that not greasy and sticky?
Greasy.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking greasy.
All right. I just want to say for a record.
We got a little olive juice. Let's get off the table. You know what? Maybe...
So he's saying this, top of it is greasy, and then people were saying, oh, he's just making excuses, and I'm telling you. And here's the thing, y'all probably thinking for those who don't know the situation, y'all don't know how big this got. And the reason why I picked out this clip is, even when I look for an Andrew Wilson clip, liberals have went out of their way to make this viral. They will go, look, I'm talking about, you could scroll 20 different times on TikTok and all you'll see is pickle jar clips. All you'll see is clips of women laughing, saying, ha, 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 he couldn't open. They thought this was like their magnum opus for defeating him. They didn't, this is all they had, and I'm telling you, they forced it to go viral. Only thing they forced to go viral more than this clip is the one we're going to talk about in a little bit. But this one, they were like, ha ha, we can't wait to laugh. We can't wait to attack your manhood. We can't, nothing about his arguments. Nothing about the fact that he actually still beat her in the debate. Nothing about the fact that she couldn't open it either. What's the logic in this? Both of y'all can't do nothing. Man still the worst. Neither of y'all can do 10 push-ups. Man still the worst. Come on, man. Like, y'all just... It's like, they can't wait. It just, to me, it just perfectly showed how they will go out of their way to try to destroy this man's credibility, even if it's something as small as opening a pickle jar, because how viral they made this. Dude, Crowder's ex-wife was talking about this, dude. She was on, now y'all know how much of a lame she is and how much I don't like her. I'm doing a show on her eventually. Her, Laura Southern, maybe Brittany Venti, that trans man trio logic, allegedly. All these different people. It's so much disgust I have for some of these people. But the Crowder's ex-wife, who still goes by the name Crowder because it's famous, she couldn't wait to laugh at things like this. She's a covert feminist. She could not wait to take this clip and say, that's the guy that talks about being a Christian and being a strong man and has been on my ex-husband's show and he's red-pilled but he can't even open a pickle jar. I'm telling y'all, they could not wait to use this clip. They tried to make this the end of his career. Okay. So anyways.
Got a comment speaking about that.
Yeah.
That's the tactic, though. When you can't beat the argument, you attack the person.
Yep.
So when the credibility of the person is damaged, the argument no longer matters, even if they're right.
That's exactly what they try to do, because what they tried to do is this. He never once claimed to be an alpha male. He never once claimed to be this bodybuilder. He never once claimed to be the strongest dude in the room. In fact, I think that Jake Rattlesnake, who believes pretty much the same thing he does, came and opened the pickle jar later. So they didn't debate Jake. So my thing is this. They took all that and they labeled it, and I've seen so many times they said, alpha male can't even open a pickle jar. He never said he was an alpha male. They gave him that label to tear him down. It's like building you up a little bit so that they have a platform to knock you off of. He never once claimed to be the strongest dude on the planet. I never once met a pickle jar I can't open, I'm just saying. But everybody ain't me. That's a joke, y'all. But here's the thing. I think he took it well, though. Like, he was joking about it the next day. And they couldn't let it go. Like, here's another thing I've noticed about liberals. And they did this with a J.D. Vance thing. If they see that you take something as a joke, they get angry that you have a sense of humor. Have you ever noticed that? When J.D. Vance, remember he did the Halloween costume where he did the loaded head thing? Just because they kept making fun of him and they were like, ha ha, J.D. Vance, ha ha, what do you got to say about this? And he wore it as a costume on Halloween. They hated that. It burned them up. They were like, you can't laugh with us. You can't do that. You don't understand how serious this is. Do y'all remember how they melted down? They was like, you don't get to laugh. We get to laugh at you. They don't want you to have the ability to laugh at yourself. And when they see that you can, it takes all the muster out of their attack. It takes all the ability they have to really use it as a weapon against you, and they get doubly mad as they were before. And that's what they did with the pickle jar. Like, they keep trying to rub it in his face, and he doesn't care. But they thought it was going to be this, like, last nail in the coffin type thing, and it didn't. But I'm telling you, they wanted it to be. Y'all wasn't there. I was there on the internet where they kept bringing it up. Every argument he said, they would do post pickle jars and this and that, and they would, and they, to this day, they still haven't let it go. So anyways, all that being said, next video.
So it's another Andrew Wilson video. This is the one with the teacher.
All right.
Are we going to go with that one?
Is quite funny because, so what did they do? Let me give you some context here. So they couldn't defeat him with the pickle jar. They couldn't defeat him with saying that he wanted to essay women and he was arguing, and they tried to push this stuff hard. It was like a whole team behind pushing these things. Everywhere on the internet, I was seeing it, right? I saw people make little commentaries about him. Then, so what did he had a different debate. In this debate, he debated with a young woman who claimed she had all these degrees. You guys might know her as Crash Out Kylie. It's the reason she got that name, okay? Okay? It's the reason she got that name because you're going to see. Let's play it and we'll get some more context.
Wait, when you got here?
I'm leaving at 6.
If you're a college professor, you've probably seen this very pattern play out.
Well, like, this is not an environment for me that I am
oh my
enjoying.
God, you whine so much. She agreed to 6:30 right in front of me. I like, and now she's retracting it. It's like, what is going on? I don't know.
Well, I'm going to drive in the dark. I can't drive in the dark. And then it's, well, I have health concerns, and you cannot dare question that. And clearly, she is used to this working in her life. She probably does this, and people do not question her.
I mean, again, I have health problems.
Yeah, but why would you have a different assumption?
Are you fucking serious?
I'm fucking serious. Why would you have a different assumption? Why? How would we know that?
I'm telling you now.
Of course, but don't you think that if you saw the last 2 episodes, they went 5 hours, why would you presume that yours was going to go less and that we would know you had health issues?
Because I'm telling you I have
But when you get to the show?
Oh my God. Wow. Unreal.
If you want to leave, fair enough, fine. But don't try and keep the money that you made an agreement upon. And don't play this game of it's about health problems.
You get to the studio, then say you have health issues. It's like, yeah, it seems fundamentally dishonest.
Right. I mean, that's just kind of something that you don't want to disclose because
we'll play more of it in a second. So, just to give you some context, he came to a debate with this Kylie woman, and she's a super feminist. If you guys, I went and did some research on her. She had a bunch of videos talking about white supremacy and femicy, and the evil of the patriarchy, and just all types of, just down the line of everything an idiot feminist would say, right? So she's been doing this for a while. For some reason, she thought she was going to come to this debate with Andrew Wilson, and he was going to treat her like a little princess. And she came there, and she started getting that butt whooped. I'm talking about she didn't have nothing to say. She was getting, the floor was being mopped with her face. And the problem is, she didn't expect this. She thought men were going to white knight for her. She was appealing to Brian Atlas, saying, Brian, please stop or I'm going to leave. Like, she was really getting ripped apart, dude. It was fun to see. I'm telling you, dude, I forgot what I was doing while I was watching that one, but I had to stop and I was like, oh, this is getting good. She was getting that butt whooped. It was almost, let's see, I can't even make this joke. I'm going to make it anyway. Maybe that's why they think he pro-SA, because that was pretty bad what he did to that lady in front of all the people. But here's the thing. She wanted that. This is in the context of SA, this is getting worse and worse. She asked for it. She needed it. She wanted it. This is what she did. She came to this debate thinking, and she wanted to be treated as an equal, and she got whooped. And then as soon as she started getting whooped, what happened? Oh, I gotta leave in 10 minutes. I didn't say I was gonna be here all night. I got things to do. That's what she did. After she agreed to it, she's gonna be like, I didn't say I was gonna leave at 6. It's 5:59. Wait a second. You've seen how long these debates go. Some of these debates go for like 6 hours straight up. And so, man, Brian Atlas, he be getting that content, dude. he be having the people falling asleep, doing sleep streams. You be like, dude, be doing a dang podcast for 18 hours. But yeah, so he had a debate and it went long. I mean, it didn't even get to half the debate time yet. And she's already talking about she got to leave. And conveniently, after she was getting her butt kicked. And so, what does she do? Well, let's see. Let's play some of the rest of this first, and then we'll talk about what she did.
It's a little embarrassing.
I don't understand how health problems could be a contributing factor to what is happening right now.
I mean, you agreed to...
I agreed to appear, not say for the entire...
Yeah, but that you can't do some technicality where, well, I showed up for 2 minutes and I'm just going to leave and get the benefits of... Look, Kylie, just take a 5-minute breather.
I probably wouldn't even be talking about this if it were not for the fact that now she's suing them. Andrew asked her, okay, if I wanted to start a business and I just wanted to work with men, would that be wrong? She goes, yeah.
Why is that not something I should have the freedom to choose for myself? Why?
I believe it's wrong to make someone feel ashamed and not hire somebody and give them different outcome based off of their race or sex or
But you
sexuality.
don't believe it's wrong to tell people that they must do a thing they don't want to do.
Not at all. No, I don't.
There's an irony to that because she cannot be bothered to do something she doesn't want to do.
Then it's not really about choice. Okay, so the second pillar of feminism is
Right.
not
You
true.
just debunked it like so fast, just like that.
It's pretty
So
false.
easy
Yeah, it's
for
pretty
you.
false. You just said it's not really about choice. It's
Sure.
really about an agenda, right? What was the third pillar of feminism?
She just has no response.
Well, I think we're getting close to the end. Is this what we want to talk about for the last, few minutes?
Look at that
Well, we have
evasion.
another 30 minutes.
The look in her eye, like, I can't talk about this for 30 more minutes. What am I going to do? You could not have a more clear tactical retreat than this.
Well, we have another 30 minutes.
Sure.
It's 5:59 right now.
What is she flipping
We
through?
All right. Well, I might just have to take another break because I'm not feeling so hot.
You can't make this up.
Well,
This is dude, she seems like a terrible person to be around. I'm not gonna lie. Like, she's the type of person that she would like. It seemed like if you ever had the misfortune of going on a date with this type of person, and you say you paid for the dinner and you made her pay the tip, she would call you 2 days later and just say, by the way, you caused me mental harm by causing me to pay the tip. That's the type of person she seemed like, for real.
For real, yeah.
It seems like she'd be that type of person to be like, just so you know, I was mentally assaulted when you forced me to pay for the tip. And you'd be like, force?
Force? No.
This is the type of person she is. And the thing about it is this. All this goes in this section of what are they trying to do to him is because she actually is going, because she lost the debate, she's trying to sue whatever podcast. Where's the next video at? She's trying to sue. There she is.
Should we go through this one?
Yeah, go ahead
Okay.
and play that.
All right.
The day I'm leaving. No, that was me in the video. And men wonder why there is a male loneliness epidemic. Back in May, I was in a room with these people for hours while they insulted and degraded me, while their audience sent in chat messages about how much they hate me
Pause it.
and want to me. And the worst part,
Yeah, I mean, she's lying about. I mean, I don't keep track of the entire chat, but as far as I know, there was no messages about someone wanting to unalive her.
I hope you guys have
So you see, she actually is going through with a lawsuit. And it's worse than y'all could even imagine because y'all, I couldn't find the video, man. I wanted to find it. She claimed that the stress from being on that podcast caused half her face to be paralyzed. That's what she said. She did a video with half her face looking like this. She got...
She what?
Yes! She did a video on half her face like this, and she said, "His Andrew Wilson did this to me. He did this to me." And she said that. She got her goofy self up on the internet and said she got her butt beat so bad in the debate that it took the feeling out of her face.
Wow.
How you get beat that bad?
Yeah. Wow.
You have to admit defeat.
Mhm.
If he knocked the feeling out your face. We had a phrase growing up saying knocking the taste out your mouth.
Oh, we have some comments about her. These are delicious.
Oh.
What a crybaby, that girl. She's the type that makes women not want to work with other women.
Absolutely. Can you trust a woman? Can you trust a broad like this? Be for real.
No.
As a woman, y'all gotta admit she's insane.
Yeah. Here's another comment. She's the type of a person that would get pregnant to trap a guy that's going to dump her.
Right, and then have an abortion. She would trap you, do a baby trap with you, and then still try to get an abortion just because, feminism.
And then I hope the Whatever podcast has good language in their contract.
I hope so too, because honestly, let me tell y'all something. and this is just me because maybe I'm spiteful and the Lord is dealing with my vengeance in my heart. Before I gave this girl a dime, I would burn my money. Straight up. If I knew she was going to win the lawsuit or even had got anything close, I'd rather die than give her a penny, dude. Because you got somebody like this who want to do a frivolous lawsuit and try to take away your well-being because they got their stupid butt up on your platform and got destroyed in front of millions of people. That's your fault. So now you want to sue somebody because you butthurt because your father didn't know how to raise a competent child that can accept responsibility for their actions. Now you want to hurt somebody else? These people are oh my gosh, they disgust me. Who would even think to sue somebody because you lost in the debate and will waste somebody's time like that? Now, we all know she's not going to win. Well, in California, who knows? But we all
you don't know about
she
that,
should
right?
have no chance of winning. But the reality that you could waste somebody's time like this and have them wrapped up with money, I would go out of my way to destroy your life. I'm telling you, if you made me waste one of my days not making money, one of my days not being at work, one of my days being away from my children to come to a frivolous lawsuit like that, I would spend the rest of my life saying, every time I see you, it's on sight. Not physical, but legally, I would sue you for everything I could. I would have her take the place of that little Dial on the whatever podcast. They could just stuff her and have her sit there. That would be her penance for wasting my time.
Yep. That would be a good use of that. Oh, we've got great show, guys. Keep it up.
Appreciate that. Yep. Appreciate that. We're gonna try to do even more. So the next video, if you want to check that, I think is that.
It's another whatever.
Oh yeah, this is him responding to a lot of the legal stuff as well.
Okay.
I think this might be part of the same.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, click that one because this goes to show you the lengths they're going to get this man. They're suing the podcast that he on that organized the debates that he whoops people in. This is the lengths they're going to.
Fucking story, guys. Crash Out Kylie. She claims that because of the stress induced by being on the the debate, she got cerebral palsy.
What?
Or wait, no, it's
whenever the dentist hits your nerve.
No, what's
Bell's palsy.
No, Bell's palsy. Sorry, I misspoke. It's not Bell's palsy, where like half her face, I don't know, droops or whatever. You lose the
stress-induced.
Yeah.
Thing.
So, she blamed it on us. Oh, there's so much to this fucking story, guys.
Okay, that's fine. But that's what it was. It's called. My fault. I'll let you. Oh, you got it. Yeah. It's called Bell's palsy. Mm-hmm. Yep. Is what she claims to have had. She claims that during the debate she was so stressed that what caused half. And I wanted to so bad find the video so we could laugh at it. And the video just shows her talking and in this crying. Hey, this happened to me. I'm trying to do what her face did. This happened to me in whatever podcast, and I came there and Andrew Wilson was so mean to me. I was like, this is such a fraud thing to do. It was such like ramped up so that she could have a lawsuit. You know, like when somebody's wearing a cast after an accident where they just barely tapped the bumper. That's what it felt like.
Okay. Yep.
It's like, yo, you right. Get out of here, lady.
And I've seen people who have suffered through Bell's palsy, and it's not doesn't go away in 5 minutes.
Well,
it's usually something from a very traumatic, or there's a combination of things going on. It's not a temporary thing.
That's a sad thing, though. I mean, for real, if you think about it, that you know somebody who's actually suffered with that, and this ugly, fat feminist woman is using that for her own political agenda. She's like, right. I'm going to use this thing that I know is real, that other people really have, to win an argument because I lost the debate.
Right. And what's that say about her?
Yeah, it says that she's a despicable person that deserves all the disrespect that comes her way. That's what it says. Like, some people deserve to be disrespected. You know, somebody out there with this sickness, like, and that just kind of reminded me what you just said is like, you know, somebody who has it. I'm sure there's people out there who saw that, and I mean, we're laughing and everything, but they probably like, dude, I gotta live with this. And this person out here playing with something I gotta live with. You know, that's not that funny when you put it in that context.
Right. And when someone thinks that they can get away with it like that.
Yeah, like they deserve to be sued.
Yeah, that's just
so she's
whole
out here,
levels of
she's trying to garner sympathy from her fans.
Right.
She's trying to garner this attack mode that they want liberals to go in where they're like, ooh, this big bad man did this evil thing to you. Let's all band together and get him. That's what she wants. And all based on you went up there on a platform you agreed to go to and got your punk butt embarrassed. That's all this is. You can't just take your butt kicking like a man or a feminist.
Just move on.
And move on. Go home. Nobody made you come there. Surprised they even let people that's that stupid drive a car in the first place.
Oh, don't get me going on that. We got another comment. Hey, just found you. Subscribe. Good job, guys.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that, my brothers. So yeah, well let's play the next one because it just goes to show you, and I'm building a case here. This is the lengths that they're going to destroy this man. Why? Y'all paralyzed you gotta paralyze your own face to defeat him? Okay, I guess. So this one is particular to me. Let me get some context to this one. So, and man, I just been doing a lot of research on what's been going on here. He recently stopped a relationship, not a sexual relationship, a business relationship with a girl named Sarah the Raging Tomato. Now, he used to go on Sarah the Raging Tomato's platform, and they had all types of debates there. Debates were pretty good, not because of her moderation, simply because it was a good place, a good platform for him to have these somewhat reminiscent of bloodsports debates, right? So he would come there and have these debates. He had almost like one every week or even more, and she would host them. And so it was a beneficial relationship to them both. Here's where she messed up. She hosted several other debates. And remember when I said before, the Crucible is a team. They have plenty of people on there now. They have people like Jake Rattlesnake. They got Rob Noor. Rob Noor is also an excellent debater. He went on the platform on his own. He has his own channel. I've watched it several times. And he went and he debated a liberal. And she hosted that debate and she was the moderator. During that debate, a couple things happened that I completely disagree with. One was the moderator was not holding his opponent to the standard of debate, meaning that he would ask a question and his opponent would just be like, I'm not answering that. In a debate will not work if one person can just run away from a question. The whole point is to defend your belief. You cannot have a debate if somebody just refuses to defend their belief, but they only want to attack you and your beliefs. That's not really fair, unless that's the stipulations of the debate. But that wasn't. And what happened with Rob is he said, listen, if y'all not going to have this debate in good faith and y'all just going to not answer my questions, what's the point of me being here? So what did Raging Tomato do? Sarah the Raging Tomato? She basically said, you're not going to give me an ultimatum if you're going to leave or not. If you want to leave, just leave. And so he ended up leaving. Make a long story short, right? He ended up leaving. So what they did was Sarah the Raging Tomato stayed behind with the panel that was still there after the debate, and they made fun of Rob Noor. They sent people over to his channel to troll him all night. They did this over and over and over and over again. And they talked bad about Rob Noor. They were making fun of him. They laughed at him for hours. Here's the problem. You would say, what's the big deal about that? Sarah the Raging Tomato knows that Rob is a part of the Crucible. She knows that most of her followers came from the Crucible's channel. She knows that they had business endeavors in the future that were all based on what the Crucible was doing. So it was a stupid business decision for her to go out of her way and try to make fun of this Rob Noor guy. To try to say, listen, you don't know the power of the Panoverse. The people that are here right now and have started with me, you don't get to say that type of stuff, Rob Noor. She was going in on him. And guess who got wind of it? Andrew Wilson got wind of it. So he said, look, yo, that's my friend. You pretending to be cool with me. You pretending and you pretended to be cool with me and you're hosting all these debates. But then when somebody with a lesser name than me from my same channel comes on, you want to disrespect them. Y'all can tell I've been following this. So you want to disrespect them. And you want to disrespect my guy who helps me set up my debates, who's been a good friend of mine for a long time. So now I'm refusing to work with you. And I believe, and some of you guys are going to be like, well, that's petty. I don't believe it's petty. The reason why I don't believe it's petty is as a man, when you have the upper hand in business, when you're the boss, when you're the one who's the CEO of the company, you choose who you want to work with. And if somebody is so stupid that they want to take a member of your family or one of your best friends and disrespect them for no reason when they know that their majority of their money comes from you, they're just a stupid person to begin with and they don't deserve your business. Straight up. It'd be like, I'm trying to, like, say I own a cookie company and people have been coming to my cookie company, and right next to my cookie shop, my wife owns a taco restaurant. And people say, hey man, I want to buy your franchise or your cookie company. I say, cool, we can make a bunch of money together. And then they get on the internet that night and say, yeah, we made $1 million, billion-dollar deal, with this cookie company that Jack owns. But his wife, that taco company right next door, she sucks. I hate her. Don't ever go. They can't, I would never, oh man, they're so amateur. And then I get online and say, dude, I just went into business with you. Why would you talk bad about my wife like that? You will be like, yo, that was a stupid thing to talk about a dude you just went into business's wife. Now, I'm not saying Rob Noor is a wife. Some people gonna say that. What I'm saying is a dumb thing for you to make an enemy of somebody you went to business, especially when 90% of your business comes from that person. It's just not smart. You could say whether it's right or wrong to somebody, but that's their right to cut you off. When somebody has the upper hand in business, you capitulate to what that's part of business. I don't go into business with a CEO who could have worked with 1,000 different other people and say, well, you better do things my way. If I need him, I need him. That's how business works. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's where the phrase comes from. And she was dumb enough to do that. So all that context for those who like my storytelling skills, this goes into Sarah. He stopped doing business with her. So what did she do? This is disgusting to me. What did she do after that? Let's play the video.
Like confrontation. And I think the main reason why.
Because you're terrible at it. Because you're terrible at it. Because out of all of this, what you came away with, instead of being able to take a single shred of personal accountability for the people who literally granted you your entire existence online, entire audience, helped you with all of your funding, opened up every opportunity you could ever imagine, and then some, instead of taking a single shred of responsibility, instead, you came up with a revenge plot to put your lewds on the internet.
And I think the main reason why is, like, I don't want to make you look stupid. The main reason why is, like, I don't want to make you look stupid.
Don't do that.
Let's pause it here.
Whatever you do.
So this is quite important because what you see with Sarah the Raging Tomato is an inability, as much women have, to take accountability for their actions in the situation they got themselves in. But this is the double disgust of it that I think people are ignoring. This is what she chose to do. And I didn't see these. I'm taking Andrew Wilson's word for it, that this is what's going on, because I did not go and search because I'm not no pervert and I'm not a degenerate. So what he's saying is now that she does not work with him, she's putting nudes out on the internet. I don't know if it's OnlyFans or whatever, but people can buy her nudes, or she's trying to get some financial gain from putting nudes out. This is allegedly, this is basically what they're saying on the internet. She's putting nudes out with clothes on that have a similar logo to the Crucible, his company. Think about that. Think about how disgusting this is. She's wearing something that has a logo that's much like his and doing something that's completely against his worldview. He has a Christian ethics, Orthodox worldview. And she's saying, oh, you know what I'm going to do to get you back? I'm going to wear something with your logo, close to your logo on it, and I'm going to take my clothes off. How satanic is that? I know you built this up. I know you built this platform. I'm going to use that same platform because you wouldn't work with me, and I'm going to try to desecrate it. That's what she's doing. See what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? Because this whole show is to show the lengths that they're going to take this man out. Being attacked by all sides. I was not going to do this show until I was like, dude. It was like at the beginning of the week, I was like, dang, another one, dang, another one, dang, another one. They just keep coming for this man. And to do the things they're doing is like, they're trying to hit him. It's like, you know, when Job, if you ever read the story of Job in the Bible, where God would not let Satan attack his physical body, but he attacked him in every other way he could, in the ways that it would be the most detrimental. It was like a line of dominoes falling. And what does that show you? The lesson that you can get from Job is just because bad things are happening in your life doesn't mean that God is not on your side. God is, and my dad taught a lesson like this, and this stuck with me so long. Oh my goodness. I still remember the principle. God can use your suffering as a testimony to heaven itself, that you are a child of God. Because that's what happened in Job. With Job didn't know why all these things would happen. It's over like 40 chapters, and most of those chapters are Job wondering why what happened to him, and his friends are trying to deliberate and come up with these reasonings. And Job is sitting there saying, no, I wasn't a bad man. I didn't do this unjust thing. And his friends are saying, you must have. And God let him sit with that for years. And all that to say this, God used Job's testimony to show the heavens, Satan, the angels, things that we can't even understand or conceive. God used a man's testimony to show the faithfulness of himself and how he gave Job this eternal, everlasting faith. It's a strong story when you look at it from that context, that even at the end of the story of Job, he told Job, his answer was not an answer we would like so much. He was like, Job, did you create this? Did you create that? Did you create this giant? That's how he responded to Job when Job asked him why. All that to say this. How does that relate to Andrew Wilson? All these people are attacking him, and it makes me wonder, what is he doing right? What is he doing right? Because you don't get all these attacks from all these different directions if you're not a threat. They ain't attacking me right now. I'm going to tell you why. Because I ain't got no subscribers. I ain't a nobody. It's me and Mr. Producer. We watch the videos ourselves.
That's us, yeah.
Sometimes I don't even watch it. We only get one view from Mr. Producer. Sometimes we get two because it's my wife. I don't even subscribe to me. But here's the thing. So I'm not a threat. I'm not the threat they're coming for yet. They're coming for him because he's a threat. And the way they do it and the way that satanic attacks are often presented is a invert of what God would do. God elevates things that are beautiful, things that are natural, things that he would have you to do in life. Whatever is good, whatever is just, whatever is righteous. So what does Satan do? He has a whore put on your logo and take her clothes off for money. And I absolutely believe if that's true, and I haven't seen the photos, I don't know what they look like. If it's anything close to what he's saying, he absolutely should sue. Absolutely. I bet you he could raise a lot of money to sue
Sure
if
could.
that's the case.
We've got someone who says that they've seen the photos. The description is she was wearing a jacket with Andrew's Crucible C on it for her. It doesn't show anything but her stomach and a bit of cleavage. Honestly, it looks like it's photoshopped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so someone
Still
who's,
though, but still,
still.
like because women be doing this stuff all the time. It's stuff that can go on Instagram, but it's still lewd and sexual, and his clothing is not made for that. Now I know this person is not saying that, but he's trying to like give more context, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like to even play like that, like don't play with me like that. You over here, you know, he's a Christian man, and you want his wife to see that? You want somebody to, because you know that's how trolls are. That's what they're going to do. They're going to send it to his wife. They're going to be like, oh, look, Andrew has a new girl. You know they're going to do that. So why put yourself, only a sick woman would do something like this and use her sexuality as a weapon. Where's your husband? Wear his t-shirt. Wear his jacket. And keep it to yourself. Lady's like 50 years old.
Right. Someone just brought up the fact that might be that's close to copyright infringement.
Yeah,
possibly.
In fact, I would think that's like
right.
definition of copyright infringement, is it not?
Yeah, I think so.
Sarah the shriveled tomato is up in your clothes. Like, who wanna, man? This is kind of, my mind don't even go to perversions like that. You know what is gonna teach that guy a lesson? Let me get naked and put my sausage in, let me buy a Louder with Crowder mug and dip my sausage in it. Who does that?
No one that's sane.
Nobody's sane. Like, only a woman. You ever seen these women who be on these feminist marches? Only weapon they have is a nudity. You ain't got nothing else in life that you could use. You ain't got your intellect. You ain't got your wit. You ain't got no clever comebacks. All you got is your nudity.
If that's their A game, forget it.
Yeah, like, come on. Dude.
Yeah.
Nobody got this shriveled up old woman. Like, come on. And I'm not even saying, even if she was, let's say she was just straight up fine, a 10 out of 10, it still will be disgusting. So I don't want people to think, oh man, if she was fine, it'd be okay. No, it's not. It's disgusting in every way to do that to somebody and think that that's going to get somebody back. So I don't know. And please don't tell nobody where they can find them, because, it's some simp dudes who are out there looking for it. Anyways, so next one. This is the lengths that they going to. This is one of the ones from this week. So with all the debates that you guys have seen, even the some that we covered here, what are they doing? They're going out of their way to say that he's running away from a debate this week. You know what, Mr. Producer, if you just want to read that and show it on the screen for me.
Yeah, I'll pull it up here. There it is. Yep. So this is what, wow. So just so everybody is clear, Andrew Wilson demanded AmFest tickets, but the Republicans didn't want him there. The board said no after he demanded TPUSA tickets, a 10-minute intro on his own topic that made no sense. He kept delaying it on purpose until the board got sick of his demands. He also told his friends that he was planning to pull out last minute to inconvenience us. This was approved and he had a scheduled interview with CNN. It was Andrew who attempted to disrupt the event but failed miserably. Good job on ruining the opportunity to have the biggest debate of your career. I'll invite Charlie and your wife's exes instead. And it's followed with this image here.
I guess that's supposed to be Andrew Wilson.
I guess.
I don't get it.
Not even close.
Some AI creation or some crap like that.
AI and
okay, so
yeah.
They're saying that he ran away from this debate. And if you look at his Twitter, look at his X account, he's saying, dude, I did not agree to this. I never once agreed to it. But it shows the lengths they'll go, because now it's like if they challenge him on the internet and say, you know what? We want to debate. And he says, no, you're running away. Now, why would he run away when he done did some of the biggest? He debated Destiny 100 times. He debated people even more well-known in the debate spirit than Destiny. He's did hundreds of debates. He's been on Piers Morgan several times. You think he's running away from you? And people believe it. I should have you go, like, is there any comments under there? We should go just to show people. Now, a lot of them going to be for him, but there's some people, I bet you.
Yeah, so we've got some comments underneath here. Let's see, receipts. Why don't you debate the smoky man? You should really embarrass that evil bad man who smokes by providing evidence. He'll be so mad. Obviously, you're telling the truth, so that shouldn't be an issue, right? The effort to be cruel and edgy is very cringe. I do not recommend. The quote, I'll invite Charlie and your wife's exes instead. Unquote. Just another Andrew deranged. I see.
You know what? Let's pause because that comment about inviting his wife's exes. So what's the last thing they did? It's a segue into what is the thing that they're trying to jump on him for now? You want to scroll up? This one.
Right here?
Yeah, that's it. And this is the biggest thing they have been using to take him down.
Okay, let's go ahead and play that one.
Can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby.
What did I just say, dyke?
Your wife with the 3
Sorry, I'm sorry, dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to...
Do the women that you try to...
your hatred against...
Do the women that you try to...
them that they shouldn't...
You know, Charlie, did I bring...
Women? Do they know
Charlie,
that
did I bring your family...
5 years older?
Did I bring any of your family into anything?
Stupid.
Did I say anything about your family being stupid, Charlie?
You know what? Pause it.
It's because I'm...
All right, I got to address this. So this one is the one that they are going in on. They are forcing this to go viral. Out of the whole 3-hour debate, this is the part that they want to go viral because they call this the Andrew Wilson meltdown. Y'all don't believe me? They look, I wish y'all could zoom into this. Look at this.
Good grief.
If I can,
yeah, it's a lot of, I just saw it. It's a little head out of focus there, but yeah. But yeah, that's all of it. Look at that. Look at that.
All of these people talking about this, all of it. They are going in. They will not stop talking. This is the end of Andrew Wilson. This is a big meltdown. Look at how upset. Oh my gosh, she's our hero. She's the killer of Andrew Wilson. She's the Andrew Wilson slayer. Let's talk about what really happened. They were having a debate. And Andrew Wilson said, listen, after she actually proposed, she said, give me the best reasoning for your worldview. And he tried to give the reasoning. And she didn't understand it at all. He just went one ear out. Just went in one ear out the other. She didn't understand a word he was saying. And then he says, you know what? Now give your worldview and why I should listen to your worldview. And she starts with, this is what she said. She says, okay, the best reasoning for my worldview is your wife has 3 different baby daddies. Tell me that's not just rage bait. Tell me what does that have to do with her explaining her worldview? Now, she tried to go into more reasoning, but it was just a personal attack. It was a personal attack. And let me say this. Maybe I'm black and I'm full of rage. Maybe I'm full of rage. Nigga rage. Maybe that's just me. But all bets are off when you mention my wife and my kids. And y'all probably think you just taking a side. No, I'm telling you, you just don't do that. You don't be like, oh, you know what's going to win me in this debate? Your wife is ugly. Your wife is fat. Oh, your wife, she has 3 kids in the previous. My wife has nothing to do with our debate or your worldview. Why would you ever bring in personal things that the internet did not know about her? Say my wife got abused in the past from a child. You know what will make you my view defeat your Christianity worldview? Because your wife got abused in the past, and the man that her abuser, whose name is Jerome Tyson, he's in the door. He's just next door, and he would agree that why would you bring up personal stuff? And some people wanted to say, and they were like, oh, well, he shouldn't be ashamed about what's going on. Who says he's ashamed? It's not that he's ashamed. It's that you had no reason to bring up his wife's personal background. I would be pissed off if somebody who's acting like they wouldn't be pissed off. And here's the secondary thing. What about his wife, him being a stepfather, is wrong? I said personally, I would never be a stepfather. Let's put that on the table. I've said I would never be a stepfather. Never do it. I got married under the pretense that I'm going to try to be a good Christian man, and I want a good Christian woman. I want us both to not be tainted by the world and be equally yoked and go in the same direction. That is a life that God had me live. All that being said, that does not mean that being a stepfather is a bad thing. In fact, with the world tainted the way that it is, you need more stepfathers because these women have made so many mistakes. They've made so many mistakes out there that it's even hard. Sometimes a woman has been humbled by her bad lifestyle she lived in the past, and now she's ready, right? Now a man can be like, you know what? Now you're ready to submit. Now you can appreciate me. Now when I work for somebody, because you have a child, you have the appreciation that you wouldn't have had before. Now, that's not for everybody either. I don't think that a man should just go for a woman with children expecting her to be humble, because many of them aren't. But all that being said, is nothing wrong with a man being a stepfather. It can be commendable. It can be. So to just like, and expect a man not to be mad by that is flabbergasting to me. Like, you don't bring up people's personal life. Like, I don't know, man. Like that to me. And then the thing is, this is the thing that liberals do that they try to do, and they try to do it to make you angry. Once they do something and say something that's completely, they know was out of bounds. Once they bring up your kids, once they bring up your wife, once they bring up your dead relatives, then they act like, oh, you're so mad, you're so triggered. I don't understand why. I was just talking. I was just saying something that everyone knows. I'm so cute. I'm so quirky. Why are you so mad? They do that all the time. And they will get you if you let them. I'm working on right now controlling my anger, because my thing is, it's going to come a time where somebody going to say something in striking distance with me. And I know, like, you only a certain amount. You ain't that quick. And my thing is God gonna have control of me so that I don't reach over the table and drag your little punk butt. You know, I'll drag the man right out of this trans woman looking person. Well, she used to be. Didn't she tried to transition from female to male at one point? Something like that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, her name is like Enemy Charlie. And she was, so I mean, in the chin, I guess you can kind of see a little bit of masculinity. She's a woman. She's a female. But she tried to transition to a man at one point. I guess she took a look at her own chin and said, I can't be fully female. But there's the problem. You got people like that who will say disrespectful stuff and then expect you to respond with no disrespect whatsoever. Now, let me give you some honest to God. If I was talking to Andrew Wilson, like if I was a mentor of him, which I am not, and he didn't ask me for my advice, I would say, hey, you know people going to bring that stuff up. You know they will, because they trying to ruin you. You got to be prepared for it. Don't let it get you off your square. But I think these learning lessons, it's hard to say that if you never, I've been in a situation where people have really tried to hurt me or really try, and I'm talking about physically. And it's hard to tell people how to respond in a situation like that when you've never been through it. So I'm not saying, oh man, I'm the guy. One thing I commend about him is he's willing to go into the pits of hell with these dirty, degenerate people and actually debate them. And if he loses his cool every once in a while, it's like, dude, who is y'all? Y'all ain't there helping him. It's easy to critique him from far away. It's easy to critique him when you ain't there with him and they ain't coming after your family and making fun of your dead kids and coming after your wife and bringing up all her old baby daddies and this and this and that. And you're like, dude, I've been married for almost 20 years, you know? Like, so stuff like that is easy to critique. But what I don't like that Christians do, and what I didn't like that Christians do in this specific instance, is they were heavy to critique him, but not understand the evil he was fighting. She, in that same conversation, said that he should have aborted his children. To his wife on the phone. His wife called in. She spoke directly to the wife and said, your children should be dead. And y'all don't think that's worth fighting? Y'all don't think y'all should be on his side? Because here's what the idiots on the line did. The idiots online, the feminist Christians, all got together and say, ha, 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 look, he got so upset. Giving her brownie points for being a satanic abortionist who wants to kill kids. Y'all don't think this is an evil we got to stand against? We got to unite against? Y'all would rather be on the side of somebody who tells somebody they should kill their kids than to stand against dude because he's angry and mean. What side are you on? At the least, you could correct him in private and be like, yo, man, if you have an ear for him, if you got a big enough platform, reach out to him. They didn't do that. You got a comment, Mr. Producer?
Yeah, we got a couple of comments that just popped up here. So talking about Andrew, they think he's a red pillar, which he's not.
That's true, he's not.
And they think that this attack will make his viewers mad and unfollow him.
That's another good point. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Let me address that real quick. Because part of the reason why she said that was in an attempt to embarrass him. Because Red Pill is very much against you being a simp for a woman. And one of the biggest ways that they claim you could be a simp for a woman is giving too much of your finances to a woman that doesn't deserve it. And one of the biggest ways you can do that is by taking care of a woman and her kids from previous relationships. They have a bunch of sayings that go like, hey man, don't play on would you ever play on a person's saved file from a video game and pretend like it's your game? And what they're saying by that is raise your own kids, you know, have your own seed, have your own history, legacy. And I understand a bit of that, but that's not where Andrew Wilson is coming from. He's not a red pillar. He bases everything he says on Christian ethics. Christian ethics tells you the best thing you can do. It says, how do you know one's religion? In James, in the end of the book of James, it talks about how can a man be religious? It's by giving to those who have nothing. By being a father to the fatherless, to help the widow in need. That's how you can be a Christian, James says. So for some people who not understand that, you would totally think, oh man, it goes against your nature to take care of somebody else's children. Yes, that's the point. It's actually God's nature that he adopted us as his children when we didn't deserve it. So one of the best things you can do as a Christian is to adopt. One of the best things you can do as a Christian is to take on someone else's children. All we ask nowadays with feminism taking over is that women have some appreciation. And it seems like his wife loves him, so she appreciates it. It'd be different if she was not appreciative of it. But yeah, that kind of, I'm like, dude, man. And so they went through the internet and they was acting a fool on this. They went and they tried to drag this man through the mud. In fact, I've seen plenty of people that I not necessarily respect, but I've seen on TikTok where I was like, okay, they got some good commentary. Even they were jumping on this. Big red pillar guy says that, oh, she really got him. No, she didn't. Did y'all watch the rest of the debate or y'all just watch that one clip? You know, so it's like one of those things where I'm like, they are going out of the way to take this man down. I used to watch a lot of rap battles. And you know what this reminds me of? They call it gassing in rap battles. And what that means is like, say you battling and you from New York and you battling a dude in Philly. and you rap battling, you get on stage, and one dude say his lines, and the next dude say his lines, but the guy, they're in Philly, and the Philly guy is rapping. The Philly guy, he don't gotta say much of anything. He could be like, yo, I'm from Philly. And everybody gonna be like, oh, he got you. He killed you. Oh my gosh. That was crazy. That's crazy. Ooh, you ain't gonna never last with that line. That's what it feels like they're doing. They're gassing her. They making it something that it ain't. You like, dude, that wasn't even that. Okay. He's a stepdad. He's always said he was, how is this a kill shot? You know, so anyways, that's what she did. And that's the one that they're thinking is like the nail in the coffin. In fact, go on TikTok right now. Type in Andrew Wilson meltdown. It will be plenty of feminists up there saying, look, she's our hero and she killed him. What? And she got interviews off of this. They want this man going so bad that she's gotten interviews from this. They said the woman with a manly chin that has destroyed Andrew Wilson. Chin so sharp he could cut a steak. She cut down Andrew Wilson with it. That's what they saying. Let's see, one more thing. This is what I want to say, and this is like, as we wrap it up here. Why won't any of these things work? And it's a reason. And it's very, very simple. And I've been saying this all throughout the whole show. The main reason why none of this stuff will work with Andrew Wilson is because they cannot defeat his arguments. His arguments, in fact, the first time I heard of Andrew Wilson was he was debating Farrah, that weird looking chick that looked like, she's a Down syndrome version of that other corn star. What is it? Farrah. She's super bony.
Oh yeah.
She's just terrible. Yeah. I don't see how anybody would subscribe to her OnlyFans. She looks terrible. She ugly glasses, just super long nose. Maybe she just ain't my cup of tea. I'm not here to make, yes I am here to make fun of her. But he was debating her and he had presented his argument about rights and how all feminist rights are protected by men. And I had never thought about it that way. And I was like, dude, and he was killing her. And he was not mean. He was just very matter of fact. And he was debating her and she had no response. And I had seen her debate before. I had seen her before I had seen him. And she's not the best debater at all, but she's articulate and she comes off as she's kind of smart for a feminist, which is not, that's a lot of credit for a feminist. And she was like totally flabbergasted, didn't know what to say because everything he said was logically sound. And so I was like, oh my gosh, she's eating her up. And then I started following him ever since then. I haven't subscribed. I'm not like his in his group, the Crucible or anything like that. What's that? I forgot what his he got like a pay thing where you can like the debater thing that he had. I'm not a part of that.
Okay.
Or anything like that, but I will say like the way that they're coming at him, I might just join it. I might just join it just because y'all be thinking this is going to push somebody down into the depths. It's going to make me join the man's little debate thing. I don't even know what it's called. Master Debaters or something. It's something like that.
Oh, I'm looking at the comments, Jack. We've got a very lively chat here. So we've got a cool community. We got everybody talking to everybody on here. So
we try to respond just so you guys know. Mm-hmm. We not that big, so we try to respond to any good comments that we see.
Someone was saying, hey, what about the girl that had about 100 piercings on her face and she said that she was getting in touch with her African roots?
Ain't that?
I know. Yeah.
It's two different girls. It's the one that he debated, that's the light-skinned girl, and then it's that one that usually come to the whatever podcast that got like 1,000 piercings and she was like in love with a tree or some crap.
Yeah.
She's a
right.
weirdo. She looked
right.
like she smelled bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you can smell through the screen.
Yeah, she looked like She smelled like EBT. Some of these liberals, man. But here's the thing. So you can't defeat his arguments. That's why he's not going to go anywhere. And the things you judge him for, the liberals judge him for, they do worse. So when they say he's mean, they came for his family. They came for his deceased family members. They did this thing. They went out of bounds first every time. They're the ones who call him out of his name. They're the ones who get snarky, and then when he responds, they get mad. You can't do that and then feign innocence. You can't defeat somebody like that. It's just like when he was going back and I can't remember exactly, but he was going back and forth with somebody. As soon as he said something slick, they was like, "Oh, you're a Christian." And he was like, "Wait a second, you just gonna poke at me until I say something mean and then claim I can't say anything?" That's not how Christianity works. Here's another thing you guys, I want y'all to study. Jesus, he always had something to say. He was not silent where I guess I'll turn the other cheek. Jesus said, the reason why you don't understand me is because you're of your father, Satan, who is a liar, and you speak lies because you're just like him. That's what Jesus said. He said that to the rulers at that time. Dude, do y'all understand? Dude, this is how bad. People don't read the Bible. Elijah, one of my favorite prophets. The prophets of Baal were so distraught, cutting themselves, causing blood to gush out their body, the Bible says. This happened in Genesis. And they were crying out because Elijah had made a wager. My God will respond to me before your God will respond to you. And the prophets of Baal got together and they cut themselves and they were crying. And Elijah took that time to make fun of them. He said, "Oh, your God can't hear you. He must be using the bathroom. Maybe he's on taking a dump. Your God is so petty, he can't hear you. He's too busy using the bathroom." He made a joke. And you know why we know it was right for him to do that? Because God caused fire to come down right after that, to affirm what he was saying, that the only true and living God is behind Elijah and not the prophets of Baal. So this idea that as a Christian, you have to be nice is so stupid. It's not biblical. You have to be kind. You don't have to be nice. Nice is a lie. Kind is telling somebody the truth for their own benefit. Nice is lying to somebody so that they can avoid for the truth. Mm-hmm. We talked about this on the podcast before. Yep. When your wife asks you, "Does this dress make me look fat?" Being nice is say, "No, honey, you look perfect. Every day you're the apple of my eye." That's a lie. Or you can be like, "You know what? That dress does not flatter you the best that it should. You should wear that other red dress that I really like." That's telling the truth. That's kindness. Mm-hmm. But to lie is not kind.
Yep. Kindness and niceness, not the same thing.
Not the same thing at all. Just like joy and happiness are not the same thing.
We got another comment here.
Go ahead.
You guys seem like you actually get it. You earned my subscription.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. We're going to keep doing stuff just like this. And here's the thing. They hate him because they can't defeat him. They hate him because the things that they do to critique, or the things they critique him on, they actually do worse. And here's the thing. They also hate him simply because they are insufferable. They are insufferable, man. These people are straight up evil and degenerate. So some of these people, I was watching him. He just put this out like a few days ago. I've been watching more and more of his content just to prepare for this week. And I saw him debate this liberal chick, like on TikTok. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm sorry to any one of his fans or if he ever sees it. I couldn't watch it. She was so insufferable, I turned it off. I was like, how do you debate somebody like this? She was like, shut up when I'm not talking to you. She was just like, the ounce of power she got from having a TikTok channel, she hoarded it over him. She wouldn't answer his question. I'm not here to answer your question. You're here to answer mine. Just a complete a-hole. Somebody who would really benefit from laying holy hands on their face in a forward motion. She would benefit from that. And the fact that it hasn't been done to her in life is a travesty and a letdown is a failure of all mankind. She was just such a despicable person. I couldn't stand to listen to it. So the fact that he had the patience to actually have to go back and forth with a person like, I don't know if I have that. I got a certain extent, I deal with, certain things in my own personal life where I'm like, yeah, I got to deal with people that I don't like. But the thing about it is, the extent that he did it, I was like, dude, I can't believe these people was coming after him and he be showing this amount of patience. So we'll wrap it up with that, you guys. Any other comments, Mr. Producer, before we get going?
Let's see. They hate him because he's right and they can't throw him off.
They can't. Yep, they can't slip him up. Yep. They don't throw him off. Sorry, I'm going off of sickness, y'all.
Let's see. Oh, most TikTok debaters, that's why TikTok debaters cope and seethe because they can't handle the real world.
This is what this, you know what? That goes into a point too.
Yep.
This is why Dean Withers and that other weirdo dude, I don't even know his name. This is why they don't come they little punk scary butts off TikTok. They will never come into an in-person debate. Ever. Because they love the idea of I'm in control here, this is my world. And when I say that, what I mean is that they know on TikTok they can mute you, they can get all their fans to throw their little, whatever they do on gay TikTok, throw roses at people, whatever they do. They know there they have complete control, they can just stop you, they can kick you. They can't do that in real life. And every time they get in front of somebody in real life, they fail. They're not good. They're not good. Have y'all seen them? They did this little debate with that one dude, like the young black conservative guy, and I forgot his name, bald head dude who looked like a turtle. And then one girl, he's cool. I like him, but he does look like a turtle though. And then the one girl, I think her name is Naima, the one with all the piercings. She was there. They were getting ripped apart left and right, and I was like, he's being nice. Imagine what Andrew Wilson would do to them. They would have full face paralysis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They would have full face paralysis like that one, like Crash Out Kylie. Probably go blind or something, or deaf. These liberals cannot handle that. They don't know how to handle anybody who comes at them with the same. Here's the thing. There's another thing watching Dean Withers that I hate. He has this pious, arrogant jerk nature to him when he knows he's in control. You ever see that? He do this thing where he's like talking to people and he'll
no.
He'll do this thing where he's like, shut up for a second. You're too stupid to understand. And then just like mute you. You're like, dude, who does this kid think he is? That's how he is because he has the power there. But when he can't do that, like when they tried to debate Jay Dyer on Piers Morgan and he called him some type of homosexual, they was like, you can't say that. You can't. Yes, he can. He said it. Now what? And they was like, you can't say that. You can't call us homosexuals. Nothing wrong with being a homosexual, but you can't call us homosexuals. And he did it. And I think he called him, what was it? Liberal sexual? He called him something, but it was super funny. I'm going to steal it when I find out what it was. But yeah, and they can't handle any platform that you can't shut somebody out of. Any other ones, Mr. Producer, before we wrap it up here?
No, we've got some people having a conversation.
Oh, that's all good
amongst themselves. Yeah, so we're just gonna it's a cool place just to hang out for a little bit here. Well, Okay, yeah. So I'm just watching this talk between two other people here. But no,
No, it's all good. We can wrap it up too.
Yeah, that's pretty much It's all. We'll let them.
I wish I had
we'll let them
the
finish.
Cultivating Our Own Narrative song.
Oh, I know that would have been perfect. That would have been perfect.
You know what? While they talk, I should just pull it up.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap up with
Yep.
that. Hopefully, don't break it. Or you might just start it over. Oh no! Stepped on something. Whoa! Ugh. This is our Cultivating Our Own Narrative song.
We do have a comment from someone who says that, let me say, you should be debating First Amender.
Ugh, I hate that. I hate his face. His face just... I've never seen in my life a more punchable face than that. It feels like God made his face to perfectly fit. And I'm not, no violence. I don't want to hurt him. He's begging for it. He wants it. You know, like when girls wear the wrong thing outside. He wants it. Have you seen his face? Real talk. His face. First Amendment. I was watching the debate with him and I was like, I couldn't hear what he was saying past his face. His face was too loud. If you don't believe me, you've never seen First Amendment, look for a debate where you can get a close-up on his face. Shucking and jiving.
On the righteous edge. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge. On the righteous edge. Live it up on the edge. On the righteous edge. Live it up on the edge. On the righteous edge. I love being a coon. Shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon. Shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I love being a coon, shucking and jiving to the moon. I've learned that thief has never learned, so I jump ship just to let him burn. I fly the lane from the coon. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, on the righteous edge. Shucking and jiving on the righteous edge, on the righteous edge. Living up on the edge, on the righteous edge. Living up on the edge, on the righteous edge.
Thank you guys for joining us. This time it's been me, Jack Bravo, and Mr. Producer. We will be back next time. This has been The Righteous Edge. We had a lot of fun. All right, see you guys next time, all right?